Now looking at the Canes, right, there was an opportunity to take a commanding 2-0 lead, right? It was right there for the taking. And I've settled in on this. You have to take games like that, meaning the Canes are going to play Canes hockey. If they win or they lose, they are consistently them. Their identity is there. So after wins, like in game 1, as late as they come, right? It came all the way in overtime, and they had to come back. After wins, you get this empowering feeling of if they just possess the puck and they take a ton of shots and they keep at it and they keep at it and they trust it and they keep at it, then wins are inevitable. It's just a matter of time. After losses, you could play the exact same way, have a few breaks here or there, go the opposite way, and you're like, they have to work for higher leverage shots. It's not just volume of shots. You have to get better chances, and you have to learn to finish better. Even though the Kane system is the Kane system, right? So, I mean, if we're just looking at last night, they had to work for higher leverage shots and they had to finish better because it's after a loss. If one more skate deflects a puck into the net and it goes to overtime and the Canes win, we're not even having this conversation. But that's not, so we do. We have to have it. You have to score goals. We're starting off Friday with some Captain Obvious stuff here.
I was like, oh, okay, that's how it works. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't watch any NBA last night, but I'd guess they have to put the ball in the hoop. Like, you got to put it in the net. You got to put it in the net. Sebastian Aho spoke to the media today. He was asked if there's more they can do with getting shots on net.
Be a little bit more accurate, right? I mean, we just try to score in every shot, but. Yeah, I mean, they done a good job blocking shots, making us. That's a good team. They defend well. I think we defend well as well, and their goalie has been playing good. So I guess stick what we do and have a chance to put it in.
Both teams had a power play goal. If you remove the Caps' empty netter, which obviously you would if the Canes also scored one or if the Caps didn't score their second, right? So that situation wouldn't exist. Both teams get a power play goal. Take away the empty netter. The difference was, and this is the game of inches, the difference was a attempted clear hit Shane Gostisbehere in the face, and it led to a breakaway goal for the Washington Capitals. That's the difference. That goal is the difference. So when I'm sitting here saying, you have to find a way to score or you have to score goals and it seems obvious, the reason why I say it is you can't just depend on everything being even, right? There are going to be breaks. There are going to be seemingly lucky things. There is going to be a puck that hits your own guy in the face and somehow works as an outlet for the other team's fast break. And unless you are able to add a couple to your scoring column, those breaks are going to cost you. Those breaks are going to cost you. Now, there's obviously, you'd like to have won that game, and 2-0 would feel glorious, and then we'd have like a live band in here, and we'd be dancing rather than talking because you'd be up 2-0 after 2 road games over the Caps. That's not where we are, but there are still so many things that if I told you before the series, hey, you can sign up for this right now after 2 games, you would jump on it. If I sat at the beginning of the series and said you're going to Washington for games 1 and games 2 after a week off, and I said you can come back 1-1.
Deal.
100%.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
I'd take that.
If I said Freddie's going to allow 3 goals through 2 games.
Deal.
Take
that.
If I said you were going to have nearly double the shots on goal of Washington, 61 versus 34, through 2 games, sign me up. 80% penalty kill, sign me up. There's so much that if you told me before the series, I would have said absolutely. And then you'd probably sneak it in at the end. Somehow you're not going to win the second one. And you'd be like, really? Okay. And they're all right. I'm still taking it, but it's a little bit more difficult to explain there.
I don't know if it was just fans for the fact that Carolina won game one and they controlled that game so much in game one that all of a sudden we're thinking like, oh yeah, sweep. Yeah, we're taking game two. Then it's like all of a sudden we lose game two, a very close game, by the way, and it's like, well, sky's falling. Well, like, wait a second. Actually, you did everything that you wanted to in the first two games. Yeah, like you said, you're coming back home 1-1, and your top guys haven't even got going yet, and you're coming back home where you were the best in the NHL. Most home wins in the NHL this season, along with the LA Kings, who are sitting at home right now, by the way. That's where you are as a team. You're in a great spot.
Do you know?
Really are.
Do you know what I think it was? I think it was going into game two. I think we were all excited about game one, but understanding, like, if you come home with 1 win, 1 loss, that's a good business trip. Then the first period happened. And the Canes were super dominant again, and they controlled the action, and they had it in the offensive zone for just gigantic stretches, and it felt as dominant as the first period was in game one. Both of them no goals for the Canes in those games, but they were just dominant, so it felt the same. So after the first period, there was a feeling of, here we go again. Canes are going to dominate. It'll happen. Just give it time, and you almost let yourself. Believe that it was going to be this, like, not only want to say this easy, that the Canes were going to dominate it that much. And then the second period was different. The second period, you could tell, I don't know if it was the caged animal thing, right? Like you fight hardest when you feel your survival is at risk, and Washington brought more energy, and maybe the Canes weren't ready to answer. Whatever it was, it changed, and that's it's kind of what a 7-game series is. Right, you land a punch, they counter, then you have to fight back, and you got to try to land a combo. Like there's going to be sways. There's going to be the pendulum swinging. But I still think if I offered you where you sit right now at the beginning of the series to Canes fans, you would take it. And you would be excited to come back to the Lenovo Center, one of the most raucous environments in hockey. You'd be excited for tomorrow, Saturdays, Game 3. So don't change that. Don't be downtrodden, right? I say this. So at home, I have a 4-year-old son and as of 2 days ago, 3-month-old daughter. My 3-month-old daughter is a very good sleeper for a newborn. My 4-year-old son was the worst. He was awful at just sleeping as a newborn. Everything else great, right? Love them both, all that kind of stuff. Say all the stuff that fathers need to say. But I tell people I had my kids in the right order, because if the easy sleeper was first, and then I was expecting the easy sleeper with the second one, and I got up all night every night, it would be really bad. But instead, I had the bad sleeper first, so I was expecting bad sleep. And when she was giving us, chunks of hours at a time right out the gate, I was going like, oh, this is awesome. The Canes, they had them in the wrong order, right? If you would have played game 2, lost 3-1, but were in it, dominated the first period, but just didn't close, that would have been, okay, on the road, good showing, good effort. Then game 2, dominate the first period, hold on to the puck, get a bunch of shots, win in overtime. Imagine the momentum coming home for game 3 if you just took game 1 and game 2 and flipped it. The momentum coming off the overtime win, Slavin scoring the goal, we'd be meeting them at the airport with trumpets. Bring that energy to game 3, because who cares what the order is? The order just changes how it feels. It doesn't change how it actually was. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is a perfect story to lead into what I'm going to tell you here about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I can sit here and pretend like I should complain about babies not sleeping and stuff, but let's be real, fellas. Mom is the one dealing with the brunt of it, right? Especially if they're still up feeding and everything else. I can only do so much. That's why you should go all out for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is this weekend. Give mom something unforgettable. Your mom, the mother of your kids. Give mothers something unforgettable from Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. That's right, watches aren't just for dads. You can go there and maybe look for yourself, but grab something for mom as well. Luxury timepieces at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. Iconic brands from Omega to pre-owned and vintage Rolex, Blancpain, Glashütte Original, Norcanes, Hamiltons that you see in the movies. It is all there in the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. And if a watch isn't her thing, that's fine. Bailey's has the largest selection of designer and fine jewelry in the area as well. And there we're talking the classics, right? Sparkling diamonds, the classic and sophisticated styles, pieces that'll make her eyes light up. And right now, take advantage of the Mother's Day sale. Up to 20% off select items in-store only. That's serious savings on something she'll treasure forever. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry. That's Bailey's Fine Jewelry, any of their Triangle locations. If you want the watches, Fox & Bailey Watch Shop in Raleigh's Village District location for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. It's actually inside all the way to the right. And show mom how much she means to you. You can also visit online, baileybox.com. Just let them know you heard about it right here on The Drive. So we talked a lot about the Canes in Game 1. I think it's time we address the opponents. What did the Caps do that the Canes didn't have an answer for yesterday as they even the series up at 1 game apiece? I'll tell you this, it's not point production from Ovechkin. Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. Come out and cheer on the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, as they take on the Orlando Pride on May 10th. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield North Carolina. Get tickets at nccourage.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I am in studio with Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I always tell people, if it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it. Are windows exterior or interior? There's a debate.
We like to think of them on the outside because that's typically why people are calling us, because on the outside of their house, they're seeing rotten trim. Or maybe on the inside, maybe they're seeing the outside from the inside. And that's a problem. If you are seeing the outside from the inside, give the Aluminum Company a call. We can help you. We have vinyl windows. They won't rot. They won't deteriorate. And if you have rotten, deteriorated trim, something like that, we're happy to take care of it at the same time. When we're taking the windows out, we can address all issues with the window at that time.
And how many different styles of window are there?
Thousands for you, Adam.
Thousands.
Hundreds.
Thousands of styles. And you can put a window where there isn't a window.
That's our favorite thing to do.
800-672-4348 or aluminumcompany.com.
So Ovechkin up high. Go down low. Wilson now from the circle across the score. Power play goal. John Carlson sneaks in from the left side. and had a wide open net and doesn't miss. It's 2-0 Washington.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes, successful business trip. Come home 1-1 in their second round Stanley Cup playoff series against the Washington Capitals. The adjustments that'll be made between games 2 yesterday and game 3 tomorrow, they're gonna have to be done verbally or with film, maybe on a whiteboard. Obviously not skating today, not skating tomorrow. I believe they already announced that. Dennis just kind of like furrowed his brow.
Yeah, no skating today, no skating tomorrow morning.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, with the early 6 o'clock game, yeah, no skate.
Makes sense. And by the way, been a tough, like a well-played, hard-fought series thus far. So yeah, gonna take the break. So my point is the adjustments have to be done not during a practice session. I don't know why that matters, but I wanted to, for some reason, I really wanted to emphasize that. How did the Caps tie up the series, right? Because if you find out what they did well, you know what you have to counter. I do want to make this clear. I hate the point I am about to make. But if I am nothing if not an objective journalist, that's not true at all. I am somebody that I think it's a requirement when you're looking at these series to speak honestly and not ignore something just because you don't like it. I dislike Tom Wilson. You can't ignore the fact that he had an outsized impact on that game yesterday.
Best skater on the ice yesterday.
Not
afraid to say it.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
I just don't like to say it. It stings. He's annoying. He's a pest. He's big. He's physical. I thought he brought energy that they fed off of. And not to mention like solid play also. Made a couple really, really good defensive plays. And obviously, goals matter as well. Here's Rod Brindamore talking about Washington as a whole, not Wilson specifically, but Washington playing a better game, and yet Carolina still had a chance to win it.
We weren't certainly great, that's for sure, and I think that goes to got to give Washington credit. I mean, they played a much better game, and the first goal was kind of a weird one. It goes off our defenseman for a breakaway. You don't really see that too often, but there was other plays that they could have scored too that would have made the game what it was. So we have to be better, that's for sure. We knew it was going to be hard, and having said that, we were still right in the game.
They were right in the game, and in a weird way that makes it more frustrating because you can find so many things that you think would change the outcome. Oh, if this didn't happen, or if they capitalized on this, or if they built off of, and it could be the smallest thing, but when you're right there all the way up till the end, it might have been the difference, right? You can talk yourself into it. It might have been the difference. The danger in that is, right, it's sports. It'd have to be fair, right? If you get to go back and change one thing, they would probably get to go back and change one thing, and, it's the whole mess of an equation there. For example, something that I thought I noticed just as a competitor. I don't pretend to be the biggest X's and O's hockey guy, right? But I do pretend to know. I do think I know about the intricacies of team sports as far as the psychology. I didn't think the Canes took advantage enough. I don't think it ignited them as much as it should when Jordan Staal put Wilson into his own bench. Right? I mean, as soon as I saw that, I'm ready to go on the ice. I'm going, what did they say? Tom Wilson 6'4", me too, square up. Like I was ready to roll against with Jordan Staal against all of them. It should have put Wilson on tilt. He should have been reminded of that over and over and over again. Every mumble under your breath should have been making him see red because that's embarrassing. He's the big, bad, tough guy. And Jordan Staal said, you big. I don't know if you're bad or tough. I'm about to put you in a car seat over here. Picked him up and tucked him away nice. That's what needed to happen. That's what should ignite your team. Yet it didn't seem like the buzz was different before or after. Now I'll say this, right? And it's kind of builds into what we started the show with. Canes are going to play Canes hockey in wins and losses. And because of that, there's going to be games where right? Their whatever low leverage shots don't lead to goals, or there's one or two bad decisions that hold them back, and that might leave us grasping at straws for reasons or things to blame when there might not be something to blame. There might just be sometimes when you play this style, there's going to be games that you run out of time. You didn't lose, you just run out of time. But this Canes team this year, I do find myself settling into 10% more anger, 10% more edge, 10% more trash talk, 10% more unlikability. I mean, you know what I sound like? I sound like our frequent caller Micah, right? They need a little sandpaper. They need one of those guys who might not be the best skater, but he doesn't want to be the best skater, because if he's the best skater, that means he can turn before contact. Like, he wants to lose control and knock someone down. They need 10% more of that. I liked when Aho was kind of cross-checking Wilson into the ice on the ground. More of that, right? Aho, more of that. I liked after the game. I liked Stankoven. Right after he gets whatever, it's I forget who it was now. Little slash, little tap on the legs there, and he turned around. He wasn't gonna chuckle it off. He wasn't gonna laugh. He wasn't gonna go, all right, you guys won. He turned around like, no. Eye for an eye. I'm getting mine. Get crazy eyes. See red within reason. Don't do anything stupid. When that opportunity happens, you need the second O. Listen to the I don't know. This is like an And One mixtape thing. Remember And One mixtape tour? The basketball. Hot sizzle.
How could you forget?
My God, son, hot sizzle. He'll shake you fast or in slow motion. They like the second O, right? One of the guys would get him with the crossover, and everyone would go, oh, and then you'd see him throw the oop, and then you catch it, boom. Oh, and the second O was always the biggest. Or you get him with the whatever, you put the ball under your shirt, you do a crazy thing that's not allowed in real basketball. Everybody goes, oh. Then you hit the jumper. The second one is bigger. The Canes had the first O a bunch of times. They needed the second one, right? They needed the dunk. Stahl puts you into your own bench. Oh, score the next time down the ice. Bigger O. You get on the power play. How nice is that? Oh, finish the power play right out the gate. That one right in the first period. That's the second O that sends everybody into a frenzy.
That's what they missed. The way they dominated the first period yesterday, like including that Jordan Stahl hit on Tom Wilson, that's what they missed, was just they needed to get one.
Just the one.
They needed to get one.
It's the equivalent of imagine if the And One mixtape guy hit like an awesome crossover, right? Made the guy fall, and then he passed. Still good play, still highlight. You're still dominating. You still have the ball. Then that guy made an awesome play, and he passes. And it's like, we're playing great. We're not getting anything done here. You need the just that one over-the-top move. That's what they were waiting on. And hopefully at home it'll be a little bit easier, right? Because needless to say, your crowd is going to be more excited here in the Lenovo Center when you do good things than on the road. Back to Captain Obvious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up. There's a story involving UNC head football coach Bill Belichick that there is no Captain Obvious for. There's no run-of-the-mill response to this one. But before we get to that, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending and Gordon. Oh, excuse me. We'll get to that perhaps a little bit later on. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. It's all about your home, right? They're both about your home. Maynard Service Company is about making sure the services in your home, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, all work as they should. You know what? This is myself going with an analogy off the fly here. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. I'm going to call those the nose of the house. And what I mean by that is when it's stuffy and not working right, it's the most annoying thing on the planet. And the moment everything's working perfectly, you 100% take it for granted, right? When your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric are working smoothly, you don't think about it, right? You walk in, it's a good temperature. Awesome. You turn on the faucet, the water's running, there's nothing dripping out of your ceiling. perfect. You flush the toilet, it works, great. You don't think about it. But the moment any of those 4 things aren't working, absolutely ruining your day, absolutely ruining your week, maybe your month, or even your year. And the only thing you need to do to make sure that you get it solved quickly and back to being taken for granted is call Maynor Service Company. Maynor Service Company. Great time to start thinking about your cooling maintenance, but have them check out everything, right? If your systems haven't been maintained, checked up on, serviced in a long time, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, call Maynor Service Company, explain it to them, and they'll let you know what the next step is. The number to call is 919-361-0993, and breathe easy. 919-361-0993, or visit them online, MaynorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Dean's List and that Belichick story coming up next. Stick around.
Let's go!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants!
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
From the left point now to the center. Chance here to flex out. Gostisbehere scores! A power play goal! The Canes needed it, and Tripp drew it up, and Carolina has gotten on the board, and it's a 2-1 game. Shane Gostisbehere.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm jealous of one of you out there, and one of you out there's friend. We have some tickets that we are giving away, and the only way for you to win them is to text JAM, J-A-M, to 919-860-5326, and that keyword is a hint as to what you will be getting tickets to if you can't figure it out from obvious context clues anyway. If you text JAM to 919-860-5326, you will be entered to win a pair of tickets to see Pearl Jam at the Lenovo Center next Tuesday, May 13th. That's like this upcoming Tuesday. The most near Tuesday, May 13th. The text contest closes at 4, so you have 25 minutes to get your text in, but don't wait. Do it right now, right? Don't try to time it perfectly. The winner will be selected this afternoon, and you will be contacted, and you will be advised on how to get your tickets. So the part that you have to take care of right now is text JAM, J-A-M, to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Pearl Jam at the Lenovo Center on Tuesday.
Winner will be chosen at 4 o'clock, so you have until 4 o'clock to enter.
I wouldn't.
Don't forget.
I wouldn't push it. You have 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Give yourself like 10, right? If
Or
you
just
need,
do it now.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're in the car.
Now you're driving. Yeah,
you find a red light or pull over, right? It's not 30 seconds of a timeline, but it's less than 30 minutes is what I'm saying. So don't push it.
And it's a text to win for those who are trying to call right now.
That happens every time.
It does.
Text. What are they going to do with the keyword? Are they calling in and just jam? Because all you have to do is text JAM, J-A-M. Nothing else needs to be said. You don't say, hey, 99.9 The Fan, what's going on, Dennis? Jam. Nope, you just say jam. So when you call in, what are you expecting to say? Jam. I want the Pearl Jam tickets. That's funny. All right, so there you go. Text JAM, 919-860-5326. Lenovo Center, by the way, loaded lineup over the next week. There's I don't know if you've heard, some Stanley Cup playoff games going on. Pearl Jam. There's Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis tonight.
There's
hockey tomorrow. Pearl Jam Sunday. Hockey on Monday. Pearl Jam Tuesday.
Club Lenny popping. Club Lenny popping. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Dean's List also popping. Classes in session. All right, Dean's List. This is where we highlight those in the college sports world that deserve a little extra attention, a little extra praise. We'll start with, this one is a follow-up to we've talked about a few times. UNC baseball makes the Dean's List. There is a rivalry series going on right now, right at the end of the regular season for college baseball between UNC and NC State.
6 o'clock on The Fan today, by the way.
I was going to say, right here. 99.9 The Fan, 6 o'clock is game 2 of that series. Game 1 was yesterday. UNC won 8-1. Jake Knapp, I guess, would be the player that, he'll accept it on behalf of his baseball team. Jake Knapp, the pitcher for UNC, 8 innings of 1 earned run baseball. It's a good day, especially at this time of year where, you're looking at the postseason. You obviously want to win against your rival multiple games. If you can go 8 innings as the starter, that protects your bullpen quite a bit. So shout out to Jake Knapp. And there's a good chance on Monday, whoever has a great today's game, and I think they play on Sunday. I think there's a day off between 2 and 3 in that UNC-NC State baseball series will be on the Dean's List in the future. So, just letting you guys know that that's what's on the line. Dennis, do you have some Dean's List you'd like to throw in here?
NCAA women's and men's lacrosse tournaments all started actually this week. Actually, the first round for the women's is actually taking place today. UNC women, speaking of North Carolina, they're already into the second round because they're the number 1 overall seed. They didn't lose at all during this season. I'm actually going to go to the, because of the Canes game tomorrow night, I'm going to go to the UNC Richmond game in Chapel Hill. I would like to see Duke play, but they play at 7:30. I'm like, sorry, Canes game 3 takes a little precedent.
Is that a broadcast? Is there a way I could double screen that?
I think it's ESPNU.
Oh, perfect. Which leads me to my next Dean's List member, ESPN.
Oh, okay.
There's I think it was a CNBC article I read today. Yes, actually, sources told CNBC. ESPN is coming out with a new all-access streaming service.
Okay.
That is supposed to, really change the way ESPN delivered. Like, you can subscribe to that and get darn near everything ESPN offers.
So, like, direct-to-consumer?
Yes, that's exactly what they're calling it.
Okay.
But guess what they're naming it. This is why they're on the Dean's List.
ESPN Plus Plus?
ESPN.
Ha! Whoa!
How
Wait a
awesome
second.
is that? I don't have to be confused. I don't have to think about, wait, is this Max? Is this HBO Max? Is this Go? Is this Peacock? Is it Paramount? Is it NBC? Is it this? Is it that? It's if I want to watch something on ESPN, I go to ESPN.
Huh.
Which really, with how much college sports I consume and so many of us consume in this part of the country where there are such great college programs, just make it simple. Just make it so I there's nothing more than it's you got to go into the Amazon app and then you have to go find the paid for options and then you have to go log in here and I'm just and you got to confirm your location to make sure. If it's on ESPN, I just want to go to ESPN. And the fact that they're naming it ESPN gets them on the Dean's List because it makes it easier to find my college sports. And potentially something like in the future, right? This is not happening yet, but in the future, something like the lacrosse games you were just talking about. This one is on me. I don't know how I missed this, but Malcolm Ziegler is getting on the Dean's List.
Okay.
Malcolm Ziegler is a defensive back for the UNC Tar Heels football team.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a tackle last year, but he saw action in 9 or 10 games, mostly special teams. The ACC put out a video, a throwback video on social media of at a UNC football game, a military father returned home and surprised, it looked like 3 children on the field, right? Turn around, you got a message for your dad, you watch the Jumbotron. Actually, he's here. Turn around, kids. If you've watched those videos online, they get me every time, right? Like the 15-minute YouTube compilations of military parents coming home and surprising the kids. So that happened at a UNC football game a long time ago. UNC retweets it with then, and it was a picture of one of the kids that was surprised, and now, and it's Malcolm Ziegler's roster picture. He's on UNC football. And apparently this was passed around when he committed to UNC, that he was in this video.
Okay.
But I completely missed it. That's awesome. He was surprised by his military father at a UNC football game when he was a kid. Now he plays for UNC football. Dean's List for life for Malcolm Ziegler and the rest of his family. Thank you to his father and the family for their service. How did I miss that? I love those videos.
I never knew.
I love those videos. All right, this will lead into a conversation we have. I want the last Dean's List member is, I want to give UNC Athletics PR team a little shout out here. They're cranking out statements left and right. They're getting a press release. They're a fine-tuned machine at this point, because they had to make another one today about Jordon Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend's status within the program. And that will lead us into a conversation, now that the Dean's List is dismissed, to a conversation about the latest from Bill Belichick, a bunch of investigative reporting done by former ESPN reporter, currently works for Meadowlark Media, Pablo Torre. So buckle up, get ready, because that's coming up after 2 minutes of Gold, where our very own Adam Gold breaks down last night's Canes' 3-1 loss to the Caps in Game 2 of their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series. Here's Adam.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 20-minute sessions that produced no goals, and maybe that's why it's just 1-1 as we come back to Raleigh for game number 3. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. The Hurricanes won game 1 of their series with Washington when Logan Stankoven got them even in the third period, middle of the third, and then Jacob Slavin won it in overtime. But we should go back to the first period of game 1 to figure out why Carolina didn't have a goal. And then history repeated itself in game 2. Because again, while not quite as extreme, Carolina clearly the better team in the first period and had a bunch of scoring chances and just couldn't break through.
Now a little chance put out in front there as Roslovic got the stick to it. Now out in front, Roslovic with another chance doesn't get through. Top of the crease and Washington will clear Van Riemsdyk.
Roslovic noticeably dangerous in the period. Hall has been very good.
Now out in front for Stahl and a great block by Wilson. That is an outstanding defensive play as Stahl was lining up the shot.
Jack Roslovic had a couple of chances in the first. Jordan Stahl had 2 or 3. There was also one situation where Seth Jarvis tried to pass the puck to Stahl, but he was too close to him and had too much on the pass, and it sort of got away from him. Jarvis ended up with a scoring chance of his own right there, but he was actually too close to Logan Thompson to really do anything with it. But Carolina's got a lot of puck possession, a lot of shot attempts, and not a lot of grade A scoring chances. And when you get first periods like that, you gotta cash in. That worries me coming back to Raleigh. Hopefully, they won't put themselves behind it because, honestly, Washington's first goal was unlucky on the part of Carolina. A bad bounce ends up in a breakaway, and then it's 1-0. And you can't chase the game because even when Shane Gostisbehere gets you back within 1.
Aho from the left point now to the center. Chance here, deflects out. Gostisbehere scores! A power play goal! The Canes needed it. And Tripp drew it up. And Carolina has gotten on the board, and it's a 2-1 game. Shane Gostisbehere, his first of this series, second of the postseason. It's a 2-1 game.
You're still just within 1. Carolina ends up losing 3-1 in game 2. Got to get ahead of the game when you have the opportunities. First periods, as great as they've been, have cost Carolina so far. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health. Sound the alarm for a first period goal. Can we get a first period goal, please? I want a first period goal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I swear, the part... Adam Gold and I agree on a lot of stuff. We disagree on some stuff, as everybody with opinions do. But there's almost a 100% agreement between me and Adam when he goes to like his pleading voice right at the end of the 2 minutes of gold. When he starts doing like the, come on, just give me 2 minutes, right at the end, I always agree with it. So him, just give me a first period goal, please. Just a first period goal. Yeah. Do you know how much the Lenovo Center would explode if the Canes scored a first period goal of any kind? But if we're being, greedy, like a goal in the first 6 or 7 minutes of Game 3, because they have played 2 wonderful first periods in this series thus far, and somehow, in those first periods, it is 0-0. Just give me the goal. I don't do a very good Adam Gold impression, but that when he goes to that, I'm like, yep, I'm probably going to agree with this. That's 2 minutes of gold with Adam Gold. Appreciate him as always for breaking down some details about the Canes. Let's break down some details of another sort, shall we? I'm going to ask just one personal favor here. And I don't do this often, but I do want you to, if you are going to pass along anything you hear in this next segment to a friend at the water cooler, I do ask that you listen to the next 7 or 8 minutes, because there are points of context that will come after the main bulk of it that are important, and if you pass it on without, you'll miss something important. So that's all I ask. If you're just listening, you got to get out of the car, you got to do whatever. I get it, life happens, but then just don't go be the messenger. Don't Paul Revere this bad boy unless you get all the context. Pablo Torre has a podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out. He does deep dives into investigative sports stories. He goes and tries to find the info Former ESPN guy for a long time. He's you saw him on PTI a bunch. He co-hosted a show with Bomani Jones for a little bit. He now works for Meadowlark Media, which is Dan Le Batard's company. He did an entire episode diving into the Bill Belichick Jordon Hudson relationship, Jordon Hudson being the 24-year-old girlfriend of Bill Belichick. He called the story, just so you know what we're about to get into, Succession, for those of you that watch a bunch of TV, Succession mixed with Dawson's Creek mixed with Lifetime daytime movies. That's what we're about to get into. He had a report where he had a source from a higher up at UNC that they had made the decision to ban Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordon Hudson, from the football building. He had a quote from his source at the University of North Carolina that he put up on the screen so we wouldn't be confused on his YouTube podcast. The quote was, "Don't think you'll be hearing much from Jordon moving forward." End of quote. That is a sassy way. That is not only banning someone from showing up at practice, that is a sassy way of saying, we shut him up. We have the audio here. This again from Pablo Torre Finds Out.
A couple of breaking news updates since what has happened publicly since we last gathered. Number one, okay? Two sources at the University of North Carolina tell me that there has been a decision, it was made last week, by the higher-ups inside the athletic department that had hired Bill Belichick to be the highest-paid public employee, not just coach, in the state of North Carolina at $10 million a year. And that decision was that Jordon Hudson is no longer allowed in the football building.
Okay.
She is not allowed on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, "Don't think you'll be hearing much from Jordon moving forward." The second update is that Bill Belichick's family is extraordinarily concerned about what has transpired. One Belichick family source told me, quote, "There is deep worry for how detrimental Jordon can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades." End quote. In fact, the family has been digging into Jordon Hudson as well.
Who buddy? Listen, the entire podcast, it's like 50 minutes long. There are a bunch of things that seem funny. Things like Hudson telling people that she picks out Bill's clothes for him. Things like a source who dealt directly with Hudson in the role of the person who runs Belichick's media empire was quoted calling it, talking about Hudson, "The level of cockiness to go along with the absence of resume is stunning." There's a breakdown of how old she was when Belichick and her met on that airplane a bunch of years ago. It's a very detailed pod. But the part that rubs me the wrong way, and that's probably not the right metaphor to use here. The part that kind of gave me pause is when the family source that you heard Pablo Torre talking about is concerned about Bill, is looking into and digging into Jordon Hudson and her whatever the deal of her is. Because when it's a coach dating a young girl and they're making headlines for funny Instagram posts, I think jokes are warranted, right? As soon as you put it public and you are a public figure, people are going to make jokes, as long as they're within taste, right? No crossing of personal lines, but, it happens. We can all laugh. As soon as like a family member says, no, actually, we're concerned, we're worried, jokes kind of lose their bite, right? They lose their laugh. Then it's like, oh, is there something going on here that's different than maybe what we think it is? And even if there's not, if a family member thinks there might be, this might be like a they need privacy and space situation. Now, I did say when we started this that there's a lot in that pod, and we were going to talk about it, but I asked that you listen all the way to the end just to make sure you had the full context. UNC did put out a statement today. So it was about 6 hours after the entire podcast by Pablo Torre was released. UNC put out a statement. I will read it for you. While Jordon Hudson is not an employee at the university or Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordon will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities for Carolina football and the university. End of statement. Now, if we were to look deeply into that, I think it would be A, noteworthy that she's not banned. B, noteworthy that they drew a straight, distinct line. They built a fence between Jordon Hudson working for Coach Belichick's personal brand and Jordon Hudson does not work for Carolina football and the university, which I think is interesting. More context. Pablo Torre, after that statement from UNC, I don't even know if this is on the defensive. He kind of came out on the offensive to defend himself. 2 Twitter posts, x.com posts I have that I'll read for you from Pablo. Pablo said, P.S. UNC can now choose to describe or change its position on Jordon Hudson's involvement however it wishes. Following the publication of our episode, we requested comment and filed dozens of Freedom of Information Act requests that were not satisfied, and we stand by the specific reporting in our episode, which came from the highest levels of the football program. Second tweet from Pablo Torre. We broke the news of an important meeting where UNC higher-ups told the football program that Jordon Hudson can't be around the facility anymore. Many people around the team heard that message very clearly. You can decide who to trust in terms of how the PR spin goes from here. That's Pablo Torre on the offensive. That's him saying, your statement doesn't mean I was wrong. It means you are reacting to what I'm saying because someone is putting pressure on you.
Yep. 100%.
There are 115 days until UNC plays their first football game. I don't even know what is within the realm of possibilities as far as what the next storyline will be for UNC football. It could range from, like, there are people that I don't usually look at as insane, right? We all have the friends that throw out the crazies, right? The what ifs. What if this happened? Ha ha. No, like some normally sane people have said they don't think Bill's going to coach a game for UNC. It could range from that to, if you told me they're the best defense in the ACC next year and Bill Belichick's calling the plays and he's running a team to the ACC championship, I think that's literally the range of possibilities over the next, 10 months of UNC football.
It's amazing how this has come about involving Bill Belichick. Remember back years ago when Tom Brady, what was his trainer's name? Was it Alex Guerrero?
Alex Guerrero.
He wanted him in the facility to help with his training and all that stuff. And Bill's like, no, I don't want this guy around. Like, he didn't allow that to happen, but all of a sudden he's now become that. Like, Bill Belichick has now become this. This is the distraction that he is now. Like, he's allowed this to permeate involving his name, and he's attached to this brand of football and this school.
And it was the least predictable thing on the planet.
I know. That's the wild thing about all of this. And who knows how it impacts the football this upcoming year. If UNC comes out and stinks, guess what everyone's going to point right back to? This.
You could tell me, I saw David Hale, who's a great ACC reporter, former Delaware Blue Hen, as am I. David Hale put out a list, and one of them was like, I don't know if this impacts football at all. And his line was, I just don't think that there's a UNC football player that is like, I don't think I'm going to watch film. Instead, I'm going to Google coach's name for the next 6 hours. Like, I don't know if it crosses over and impacts football. But you're darn right people are going to blame it if the football isn't up to a standard that we don't even know. Expectations, that's what we need to establish next. Maybe we'll work on that as soon as we kind of hit a little lull in our sports calendar. What in the heck is success for UNC football next year? What do you expect? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We already kind of did that. We started to do that with the Panthers. And that's kind of how the offseason works, right? You get your free agency, you get your draft, the core of your roster. Who's under the most pressure on that roster, specifically on the defense? We answer that question coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you already don't have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Mark your calendar, May 9th at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. North Carolina FC battles Orange County SC in a high-energy showdown. Tickets start at just $22, and they're going fast. Get yours now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice break around lunchtime, but as we get into this afternoon, expect some isolated showers and storms. One or two of those could produce some strong winds and possibly some hail. A high of 82 this afternoon. Overnight tonight, we drop down to 53, and then tomorrow's a nice day, 74, with a good bit of sunshine. But Sunday, we've had to add some rain into the forecast for Mother's Day.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon down 119 points to 41,249. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The news of yesterday, literally yesterday, sounded like I was telling like a story from colonial times. The news of yesterday, no, like literally news that broke yesterday, was the Panthers had released Jadeveon Clowney. Now, obviously, that points a different spotlight on different players, right? The two rookies, Scorton and Umamielen, from the second and third round, edge rushers. They're going to be asked to do more. And by the way, Dave Canales said as much today talking to the media at OTAs. He was like, yeah, it's about getting those guys a lot of reps. It's about opening up some space for some of the younger guys to get work. And it was also about cap. He mentioned that also, salary cap. There's a weird job security lesson in that. There was I won't say names or industries because I don't know if he wants his business out there. But there was one of my friends was in an industry where his company was going through layoffs, and he was real nervous, rightfully so, right? And he went to his like trusted manager, not even like his direct report, just somebody in upper management who he had a good relationship with, and he was like, "Can I just ask you a real question? Like, do I have to be worried? You know, this hasn't been my best quarter or whatever it was." Guy looked at him and said, "You have nothing to worry about." He was like, "Really? Like everyone's that pleased with how I'm working?" He goes, No. You don't make enough money for it to solve the problems they're trying to solve. So you're good." There's a lot of that going on in the NFL, right? Jadeveon Clowney cut. They really think so-and-so is better than him? Well, maybe not. Maybe cutting so-and-so, which they would have rather have done, wouldn't have saved them enough money to do what they need to do elsewhere on the roster. So part of the reason Jadeveon Clowney's not there is because he opened up enough salary cap to basically pay all of the rookies this year, which is nice. But it does also kind of shuffle things up, so we thought it was a fun time to ask this question. As it stands right now, as the way the roster is constructed, through free agency, through the draft, with some post-draft cuts, who is under the most pressure on the Panthers defense? This was a question. Shout out to Chris Lee, Dennis's co-host on the Panthers Playbook podcast. He brought it up, and we said, that looks nice. We'll have what they're having. I think this is a two-part answer, or two names. Who was under the most pressure? I'm gonna cop out. It's two players, but one position. It's J.C. Horn and Michael Jackson for two very different reasons. J.C. Horn, I have my adapted just slightly Spider-Man phrase, right? With great money comes great responsibility. To whom much is given, much is expected. J.C. Horn, for about a week this offseason, was the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. He signed what at the time of his signing was the biggest contract for in per year for a NFL defensive back in the history of the world. About a week later, Derek Stingley Jr. broke it. But, hey, you didn't know that was going to happen. So, with all of that, you now have to perform not just as a good defensive back, as one of the best defensive backs to ever live. As one of, for sure, the best defensive backs in the NFL right now. So, J.C. Horn, pressure. And there should be. With all that money comes a lot of responsibility. There should be. Now, you may say, well, wait a second. J.C. Horn has all this money. Michael Jackson signed for a fraction of a fraction of what J.C. Horn is making. Why is he also on this list? Well, because it's not only money that front offices talk with. Front offices speak with their pocketbooks for sure. If they give you a lot of money, they expect you to play well. They also speak with their roster spots. And they also speak with their draft picks. And they also speak with their free agency money. They bet on Jackson in a way that is different than giving him a massive contract. They bet on Michael Jackson as a cornerback by not giving themselves options if he doesn't work out. They didn't draft a corner that they would expect to play early. They didn't go out and sign a free agent corner for a bunch of money. They don't have much of a safety net if Jackson struggles, which is a bet on Jackson and also a lot of pressure on Jackson. Right? There's comfort in a front office if you have a top the depth chart, someone who you like and you think they're going to be good, But then you have somebody like high floor, maybe low ceiling behind them because you're like, we can always turn to them. We can always go to them. Or even if you have like a Michael Jackson, the corner for the Panthers at the top of the depth chart, if you have like a third-round pick rookie behind him or a second-round pick rookie behind him, you go, all right, yeah, this guy, Jackson, he's solid. We like him. But if we need more of a difference maker, we can always go to this young guy whose ceiling is the roof. Like, there isn't any of that for Michael Jackson. Everybody that I would put like underneath Michael Jackson on the depth chart at corner is probably higher on the depth chart at nickel, or like also has to fill in on the depth chart at safety. There's not a lot of options. What is his name? Bartholomew isn't really exciting.
Shamar Bartholomew.
Not exciting me as another option if Jackson doesn't work out.
All 17 snaps he played on defense last year?
Exactly. So J.C. Horn, he is under the most pressure if you look at, the suffocating pressure of just the like dollars and coins that are going to feel like are on his shoulders. But Jackson is under pressure in the way that you feel when you're doing like a high wire act with no net. If you fall, there's nothing there to save you. Dennis, you agreeing or disagreeing with what I'm selling here?
I do agree to an extent, but I also think there's a lot of pressure on guys like Derek Brown as well coming back, because what's the biggest issue for that team? It's getting pressure.
So you're saying Derek Brown, the pass rusher?
Here's the thing.
Which has never been his cup of tea.
Well, you talk about highest paid guys.
Yeah, he's getting
paid. He's also one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the entire NFL as well. He just missed all of last season. I mean, obviously outside of the first game of the year with that knee injury. Mm-hmm. He has to come back and also play up to the level of contract, just like you're talking about with J.C. Horn.
Yeah, the only reason he wasn't on my list is because of the injury. And traditionally, I don't want to say we give him a season, but traditionally after major injuries, we as an NFL fan base, right, as a fandom, we understand there's 6 or 7 games you can knock off the rust. So he, we get to the excuse or reason. He might have a reason for a slow season because he is coming back off that injury. It is insane, though. One of the craziest things about Derek Brown, he had 103 tackles in 2023. I believe that's the most ever for an interior defensive lineman. 103 tackles, 57 solo, which is insane. He had 2 sacks. 2. If you can grab 103 tackles, that means you're quick, you can move, right? Because it's not like you even have 103 chances at a tackle just standing where you are and holding your arms out. Like he's got to use quickness and burst to go track down ball carriers. To only end up with 2 sacks, that is a number that I think has to go up. His career high is 3. That's he's been in the league now. We'll count it as 4 years, not count last year at all because it was the one game and he doesn't even know when he got hurt in that game, but he finished it. He's got 4 years, 8 sacks. Either you acknowledge he's one of the greatest run stuffers in the game and just be okay with that and say somebody else is going to have to get the pass rushing done because he's too busy taking care of the run game, or you do have to look at the young, highly paid defensive tackle entering his year 27 season, which is kind of a prime year for that position, and say, hey, give me 6 sacks, right? That's going to be 3/4 of your career total this year, and we'll be all right. Other names that were in the running, I do think I think both rookie edges just got a lot of pressure dumped on him by Jadeveon Clowney. I think Merrick, the safety, because
very much so.
Especially if they play him at free. I think he's proven as a strong safety coming down into the box, making tackles, being physical. They don't really have a true free safety, that center fielder style safety on the roster right now. If they play him at free and expect him to do that, there's pressure on him to show that he can, right? Because it's something that he's not super known for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, so make sure before you get on the road that you're doing all the safety things that you need to make sure that your bike is in proper working order. Make sure your tune-ups, make sure your oil change, all those things are up to date. Tire pressure and all those things are all good before you get on the road. Make sure you inspect your bike every time you get on. Always be safe when you're out there on the road. But unfortunately, accidents do happen, and this is where Law Tigers comes in. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance companies, because guess what? The Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. Also, maybe back in the fall, if you got injured in a motorcycle accident and the insurance companies aren't doing everything that they should be doing, maybe they're kind of behind on stuff, still get in touch with Law Tigers. Get in touch with them, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Again, motorcycle injury lawyers that are also riders too. They are part of that community, and they're people that have your back. Law Tigers, again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will continue up next with a cup check-in, a ladder challenge, and also a look at tomorrow's game. The crazy part, Canes-Caps game 2 last night, all the excitement. I know the Caps won, but still, there was good and bad. Rear-view mirror stuff. Tomorrow's game is what it's all about, home for the Canes. So all of that conversation is coming up. Don't go anywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
I'm legitimately emotional about this.
I know.
To watch the handshake line at the end and to see Pesci and Slavin and Stahl and Aho and Brindamore. I wanted to just have a camera on Brett Pesci. I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of love for Dougie Hamilton. Even Eric Halla. Aho and Halla were talking like they were old buddies.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh, yeah! Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Cup check-in with Adam Gold will be presented by Carolina Ale House. Some people from the office were out there at the away game watch party at the Cary Carolina Ale House. Sounds like it was a good time.
Yeah.
The kids were out there having a good time, running around, people bringing some good food, drinking some good drink, and watching some what could have been a little bit better hockey. But still, the atmosphere was on point from Carolina Ale House. For away game watch parties throughout the playoffs, you can head to Carolina Ale House in Cary. Dennis, I need to know who we're checking in with.
We have former Carolina Hurricane defenseman Sean Hill.
Sean Hill checks in with Adam Gold for today's Cup check-in, presented by Carolina Ale House. Here they are.
Your general thought about what we watched in D.C. last night?
I would say I didn't really love it, but at the end of the day, you look at it, we still had a chance to win the game. We had them in a bad spot in the third period. We were buzzing, and when we got it to 2-1, and I feel like there should have been a couple penalties called on them that weren't.
Yeah.
And that's my stance on it. We didn't play our best, but we still had a good chance. We were right there. And you know what? If you can do that on the road, come out of there with a split. And I felt like we played a really good, solid game. The first game, we weren't quite firing on all cylinders yesterday, but we still had a good shot. So that shows that we are a really good team, and we still gave ourselves a legitimate chance to win, even though we didn't have our A game.
I don't understand, other than Carolina was already on the power play, how Tom Wilson can grab Andrei Svechnikov around the shoulders and throw him to the ice and that not be called. It was mind-blowing to me. They went to the break, and Ray Ferraro said, I'm really not sure why that's not a penalty. And that's probably the mildest way you can put it. What were your thoughts when you saw that, if you saw that?
I think I saw it. Did he also do something similar to Aho, or do I have the wrong guy?
No, he did, but to me, the stuff that he and Aho were engaged in was, I thought, pretty much normal, post-whistle shenanigans that you don't want to see called in the playoffs.
Right. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up, but I thought he had Aho around the neck / under the arm.
He did. He had him in a headlock, but that was, again, it was basically as the whistle was about to be blown. I didn't think it impacted anything. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm fine with the face wash stuff, but when someone gets somebody in the headlock and is like showing some dominance, has a definite upper hand, I think that's the point when we might need to have something called. But the fetch thing, I could not believe that a penalty wasn't called. I mean, Tom Wilson's got to have something on whoever the ref was. I mean, and granted, I'm not crying over
right.
it, but Tom Wilson also had one time, and I can't remember who was on the receiving end, but it would have been a great hit, except for the fact that he left his feet. I mean,
Martin.
He's 4 inches off I think he did it to Marty. I think he did it one other time on the other side of the ice. And he's 4 inches off the ice, launching himself into guys. It's one thing if you get deep knee bend and you're doing an upward motion and you catch body before your feet come off the ice. But he's like literally in the air as he's making contact with chest, shoulder, chin, which is, I mean, it should be a penalty all day long. But that being said, Tom Wilson was the best player on the ice last night. Most impactful. And he could have, he made a pass that was a highly, highly skilled pass on the PP. He made 3 or 4 Norris winning plays on defense, blocking shots, sliding out. I mean, he was great. If you're on our side of it, he should have been in the box many times. If you're on their side of it, you had the best player on the ice, and that's what you need to have.
Once again, that is the Cup Check-In with Adam Gold. Checking in with Sean Hill there. Cup Check-In with Adam Gold presented by Carolina Ale House. Do you know what was fun about that conversation, just listening to it right here? It is kind of fun to hear, by the way, 2 exceptionally knowledgeable people about hockey, obviously, try to describe the different hits by Tom Wilson that should have been penalties that weren't. because they had to get into insane detail to differentiate. It's that hit by Wilson. It was against the boards. It was early in the game. Was it Aho? It was Aho. I need more details. That only describes 4 of them. Like, should have been called.
Which one on Aho?
It's the one on Svetch. No, not the one where he hit him. Down on the offensive zone. The one where he hit him up. It was after the whistle. Like, they just had to describe all of the calls that should have gone. It was the one where the announcer said this, because most of the time when there's a call that most people agree should have been some kind of a penalty and it wasn't, the next day you can just go like, how about that missed call? And everybody knows what you're talking about because there's one egregious one. But today it's, how about that missed call? Okay, you talk about first period, second period, third period. Are you talking about on Svetch, Aho, or Martinook? Are you talking about against the boards in the open ice? You have to. It's like a game of guess. What's the guess who? Right?
Yeah, guess who.
The flips down. It's like, all right, the penalty that went uncalled that you're talking about. Does it wear glasses? Nope. All right, flip down, and eventually you get to the one that's right.
It's a mystery.
It really is. I truly believe for like 30 seconds there, Adam and Sean were talking about different hits, and they didn't realize it until, wait a second. We're on the wrong piece there. By the way, I'm not necessarily complaining about the refs. I think it is one of the harder things in the world to do. But there are occasional. The one that stands out to me is the one that Adam referenced, where the announcers going into break were like, all right, Carolina thought this one should be a penalty, and then they started the replay, and they just went, yeah, I don't know how it's not.
Yeah, should have been a penalty.
And then they went to commercial. Like, we can't really give context on this one. Should have been a penalty. See you in a couple minutes. He basically choke slammed Svetch. It was kind of a weird move.
Which would have been a 5-on-3 for Carolina, and if obviously you don't convert on the 5-on-3, you're still on the power play. Who knows?
Yep. No, I'm not saying I'm not forgiving it. I'm just saying it's hard. I don't think I could do a better job. So, control what you can control. And they were still on the power play, right? I mean, you didn't get 5-on-3. You still could have gone ahead and scored you still had the advantage. Can't get caught up. That was the Cup check-in, as always, throughout the postseason here with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House. This will be the ladder challenge. All right, I'm still not seeing the field well. I'm on an unbelievable heater of not doing great.
Okay.
But I did win. I had Canes plus 2.5. I was thinking, I think the Canes are going to win. It'll definitely be close. We flirted with disaster there. Luckily, it was just an empty netter at the end, so didn't sweat too bad. But a win is a win is a win. After restarting yesterday, I'm up to $11.48. Dennis, I know you were out in front, so let us know what happened and make your pick for today.
I had the Golden Knights and the Oilers yesterday, over 3.5 goals. That was a minus 1,000 bet, and that definitely hit. It was 5-4 final score. So I'm up to $22.44. That's where I'm up to right now. I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to stick with what I do. Toronto on the road at Florida, taking on the Panthers today. Leafs and Panthers, game 3 of their series. I expect the Florida Panthers to come out white hot at home. And I also expect this one to be over 3.5 goals combined. That's a minus 725. So my $22.44 will turn into $25.53.
That sounds nice. I think I'll have the same.
Okay.
Only different flavor. Winnipeg versus Dallas, over 3.5.
Okay. Is that by Mikko Rantanen himself? Or
it literally, right, the reason why I picked it's minus 675, by the way, so it'll put me up at $13.18 if it hits. It is a bit of an emotional hedge. Like, if Mikko then goes on another bananas run and posts a whole bunch of points and scores a whole bunch of goals, at least he's helping me win a bet, right? It's the Mikko, but cha-ching. It's like there's it's pure emotional hedge here. So Winnipeg versus Dallas, over 3.5 goals total. It's minus 675. That's what I'm on. I'm fully and 100% just can't beat them, join them, because the stuff I'm seeing ain't working at the moment. That's Ladder Challenge. We'll let you know on Monday how it goes. Still a long way to go in the month of May. Dennis, there's not a long way between Game 2 and Game 3 in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Canes and the Caps. Last night up in D.C., they played Game 2. Caps won 3-1. Tomorrow, they play Game 3 at the Lenovo Center. This is so. By the way, follow us on all social medias. And there's a reason I'm going to tell you this. 99.9 The Fan, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or X.com, Facebook, all of it, YouTube. Please subscribe. There's this new feature we have going on that I believe will be on Instagram. And it is called Tim's Hot Take of the Week. And we did our first one today. And shout out to Lenovo for being a part of it. It ended up being, you have to go watch it to know what it is, but it ended up being about UNC and Bill Belichick. I considered the hot take of the week being that the Canes don't have to do anything hot take worthy between game 2 and games 3 because the Canes are completely within their realm of logic to just stay the course going into game 3. And based on the interactions I've had with the Caniacs out there, social media, responding to things, going back and forth, it seems like everybody wants big dramatic changes between games 2 and games 3, or at least they have one specific big dramatic change that they want. And I get it, right? 2 goals in regulation, 2 goals scored in regulation over 2 games. I get the want to just go, we gotta change it big time. But 2 goals in 2 games of regulation goals, it's not indicative of how they're playing. The goals expected and all of that are higher. They are, for the most part, getting players in pretty good chances, and it's just those players have to convert. Roslovic had a couple opportunities to be the star early on in yesterday's game, fresh off the inactive list. There's moments for darn near every player where they just have to do one thing 1% better, and it all comes true. All comes better. Dennis, tell me if you've heard any others than this. I wrote down, and I started, just jotting down like handwritten people that said like, now going into game 3, we can do blah, blah, blah. And I just wrote down all the different things we had. Someone on social media told me that they need to get Jarvis off the stall line. Somebody told me that they need to bench Brent Burns. Someone told me that they need to bench Gostisbehere.
Yep, seen that all in our YouTube comments as well.
Saying they need to play Nikishin.
Seen that too.
Saying they need to get Jackson Blake off the top line.
Seen that.
And then I stopped. That's what I wrote down, just kind of off the cuff, what people were telling me.
Oh, yeah. That's all over the place.
Those are big moves.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, hey, we're going to shake up the 4th line. That's not, hey, we're going to flip Roslovic and Kokaniemi like they did actually in-game yesterday. That's not some little, like, hey, maybe we need a spark. Let's make – those are big moves. And I'm guarantee you I'm missing some that have been called for out there. Right? I guarantee you. For what it's worth, let's hear from the head coach. Rod Brindamore spoke to the media today, and he was asked where he thinks they can get better as a team heading into Game 2.
Well, it's just those mistakes where they're going to force you to make mistakes. That's hockey, and the game is about mistakes. But it's the ones where you're really not forced into a mistake, and we just turn over a puck where there's no reason to or whatever. That's just putting stress on you now, and that's those. We can eliminate those shifts. I think we're going to be better off. Obviously, you want to get more action around the net in the interior. That's the goal. So we can maybe do that a little better. Otherwise, I've liked our game.
I meant going into Game 3, obviously, setting up that clip. That, to me, like the whole gist of what Rod just said, I would not hold my breath for gigantic changes. He's basically saying we need to do what we're doing just a little bit better. Right? We just need to make a few less boneheaded decisions. We just need to execute a little bit better. And there is logic behind that. Just like, by the way, I'm not discrediting the feels and the needs that you all have, that you want to, make the giant coaching adjustment that will, unlock a 7-goal game for the Canes. It's just, I think that is exceptionally outsider thinking. Right? For us, And I'm considering myself an outsider here, right along with everybody that wants to bench Burns or all these other things. Like, for us, it's very easy to make a giant change. When you're on the inside, the way things are is not like willy-nilly thrown together, right? The way they're doing things, the reason they're doing things the way they are, the players in the lineup, those were decisions that were made over months and months, sometimes years, and practiced and all of that. So changing and making a giant, like, let's flip up the top line. It's just like, for us, it's just, moving names on a tweet, right? When Walt Ruff, the team reporter, puts out the lines from morning skate. For us, putting Jarvis up at the top line is just copy and pasting the name Jarvis and putting it on the top line. For the Canes, it's diving deep into the analytics. It's seeing what's going on with the top line. Are they actually not producing, or are they just getting good looks and they're due for a positive regression to scoring a whole bunch? Are they dominating the puck? What's the reason behind it? How have they shown it in practice? How have they shown it over the last 6 months? It's not always a rush to the big change, especially when you have 2 days between games and you didn't play all that bad, right?
No.
It's not like this was the 7-2 game against the LA Kings, a month and a half ago. It's not like this was a wheels fall off game by any stretch. There's a lot of good there that you don't want to mess with, even if you think some giant change is going to fix something small.
I mean, you're literally one puck bounce off of your guy's face and to be in,
Yes.
a tie game. It's really what it is. It's literally just one bounce like that. Now, here's a conundrum that Rob Brindamore has to think about. Well, if he wants to move Jarvis off the line with Stahl and Martinook, well, that was their best line going last night. Mm-hmm. So how do you justify, hey, our best line that we have going, we're going to break it up? Because then you don't know how the other lines are going to react, because there's a possibility of, well, then if that line's not playing as well, you don't know if the other move's fully going to work, so you stick with what you know is working. We actually did see Roslovic move up with Hall and Stanko and switch with Kokoniemi, and guess what? That line did get better as the game went along. And I think Rod is going to continue to trust his guys to do stuff. There might be some tweaks with some lines and stuff, tomorrow, which is not a big shock because we've seen Rob Brindamore do it plenty of times, and these guys have all played up and down the lineup. But those are all things you have to weigh and consider, especially in the moment during a game. It's not just, all right, just move this guy. It's not a video game where all of a sudden things are going to work out.
And you bring up a great point, which is moving somebody to fix something could create a break. Removing them might create a bigger problem, right? If I'm trying to think of an analogy here. Let's say there's not enough seating in your living room, so you grab the chair out of the den. Right now you have enough seating in the living room, but your den is bare and nobody can go in there, right? It makes the bigger moving Jarvis from the Stahl Martinook line to the starting to the top line, if that's what you want to do. All right, now you put Carrier on the Stahl Martinook line. Jackson Blake goes all the way to, you could throw off 3 lines trying to fix one, and when the one line's not even playing that bad. So my point is, and the whole reason I brought it up is, after a loss, there's going to be, 2 hours where fans have certain images in their brains that they can't get out. One of them from Game 2, Brent Burns turning it over behind the goal, right? And the camera work, I told Dennis this. I think Brent Burns got a little burned because the camera work was zoomed in on just him. It was a one shot. It was up close, and he just lost the puck kind of all by himself behind their own goal. And
bad turnover.
I'm not defending the turnover, but I'm saying that image right there in our heads. So for the 2 hours after the game, the bench Burns mob was out in full force. Gostisbehere has had some really, really rough decision-making through the first 2 games. Now, he did score the goal, which, gosh, did he need that. But there's a vocal fan group that is, get that guy out of there, without acknowledging the role he plays on a power play, without acknowledging that, the goal he scored was not by accident. He is an active player on that end of the ice as a blue liner. I almost want to, nothing, the first 2 hours after a loss should be like Las Vegas, whatever happens there stays there. Like those takes don't hurt you. Nobody can accuse you of being wrong. Like you get 2 hours after a loss to be as irrational as you want to be. And then after that, you have to start, making sense again. I just think what we're most likely to get is small tweaks, right? Especially home and away. You can be more in control with matchups and things, so you can tweak the lines a bit. Like small tweaks, I don't think we're getting any massive renovations to what the Canes want to do or what the Canes have done. I don't think we'll see Nikishin. I don't think you're going to, see the biggest names on the lines shuffled up or anything like that, simply because, you're up. I know the series is 1-1, but the 2 games were played in D.C., and you're the best team at home remaining in the postseason. You're ahead on the cards. You don't want to shake everything up, right? It's like, hey, I want to change the wallpaper in the kitchen, so I knocked down the back half of my house, and I'm going to build an addition. It's like, whoa, small tweaks, fine. Paint over the wallpaper, gotcha. You didn't have to, go ruining grandma's room back there.
Something that kind of is perplexing to me is like seeing the reactions online and so on, and even our YouTube live chat, is that I feel like there's some people that are making these reactions and statements after the loss like Carolina was outclassed, like they stole game 1, like they snuck away with it when they got outplayed. It's like, no, those are kinds of changes you make, like if you're outclassed. Mm-hmm. You weren't. Yes, there were stretches of the game yesterday where Washington was in control. Yeah, that's going to happen. You know why? Because the Washington Capitals were the best team in the Eastern Conference. Let's not forget that. Like, you're not playing a scrub team here over 7 games.
If I were a boxing judge, right, and we've gotten, what do we call it? I won't even count the overtime because Canes won the overtime. But the 6 periods, if we count that as 6 rounds, Canes won 4 minimum.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the majority. It's just the 2 that you lost ended up canceling out one of them. Like you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Maybe that's what you need. You need what's the guy? The SNL skit where he's sitting there. Michael Jordan was in it, looking at the mirror, and doggone it, people like you.
I'm good enough.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough.
Oh man, that's
Daily Affirmations with Stuart Smalley.
Whew. I was gonna have to Google that during the commercial break. Maybe the Canes need a little bit of that. Doggone it, people like you, right? You're doing fine. You're doing good. You are smart enough, fast enough, strong enough, skilled enough, all the things you need to be. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see if I'm bold enough for real bold predictions. Coming up right here on The Drive after this.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a hockey champion, and when I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the buzzer even sounds with ESPN Bet's early victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game, and if the team you back goes up by 20 or more points at any point in the game, you get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's a Friday, everybody. Almost 5 o'clock on a Friday. Which means, because it's a Friday and it's about this time, it means it's time for Real Bold Predictions. So let's just have at it, shall we? We are the only place in sports media that has a true, authentic, certified farm-to-table bold predictions. Everybody else might say, I got a bold prediction, but there's nobody making sure it's bold. I got a bold prediction. I think the Canes are going to do pretty well on the penalty kill. Like, well, yeah, they're number one in the league. Bold prediction, guy. No, so what we've done is we've installed a checks and balances system. I'm going to make a prediction I think is bold, and you will either hear the bold enough bell. Oh, little change up. Bold enough beep. Or you will hear the not bold enough buzzer. If I get a buzzer, I have to keep going and make it bolder on the spot until we hear the bold enough beep. You'll catch along. Let's roll. If you have bold predictions that you want to be tested, you can send them into our 99.9 The Fan YouTube live stream. Just search 99.9 The Fan. Head to our live stream. If you comment a bold prediction, Dennis, are you willing to give them a bell or a buzzer?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just write bell or buzzer if it's bold enough or not. So we'll do that if you want to.
Or I can read them to you, and you say if it's a buzzer or a bell.
I do want to do the role reversal at some point. I'll get us started. Game 3, Canes, Caps, tomorrow. Canes score at least 3 goals in Game 3. That would match their complete total output in Games 1 and Games 2.
Yep, but these games are at home.
All right, then I'll go 4+. There we go. I had 4 in my notes. I was just trying to steal one there. Trying to talk you into 3. Feeling a little froggy today. Just might leap. Okay, this will be bold. I hope so. It's the whole point of this game. There will be a hat trick by a Cane in this series.
By whom?
Well, I already got the beep. I don't have to.
No, I'm curious. Who do you think?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like I don't have a. By the way, none of us do. It's a bold prediction, but it just seems like there's watching the games. There's multiple opportunities coming in similar ways in these games, right? It's Svech in Game 1. I felt like had 3 or 4 similar looks. I thought Roslovic found his way into a couple of looks early on. You start to see them like I don't want to say the Caps don't adjust. It's just they are what they are. So, like, the set pieces, winning off of face-offs and getting to the same look, it happens. So, if somebody is just feeling it that day, if they're just having a hot day, I think you can kind of keep feeding them and get them rolling, and it'll be a little hat-tricky kind of night. We'll go, this is kind of reverse in the bold predictions. Game 3 tomorrow, Canes Caps. Ovechkin stays pointless. I saw that it had been like 21 or 22 straight games where he had not gone back-to-back games without a point until games 1 and game 2 against the Canes. I think, maybe he's an older guy, maybe getting a little tired. I don't know.
He didn't play a whole lot yesterday.
Yeah, especially late.
Yeah, less than 15 minutes overall in a game for a game that's a 1-2 goal game. It's not like, hey, we're up 5-0. Let's just park the guy. No, this is the kind of game that you want to get that insurance goal, and he didn't really play a whole lot.
And some may have described that game as must-win for the Caps. So it's not even like, hey, we're going to live to play another day if you need a breather. No, it's like, we got to win that one.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, it stays pointless.
I was wondering if he's like dealing with something we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, we never will. Obviously we're not. He's the op. He's the opponent right now. He's the enemy. I mean, he's got some bona fides. The guy, didn't he break his femur this year?
Broke his fibula.
Femur, fibula, they're all lower body.
One's definitely not like the other.
Yeah, I was gonna say femur is like breaking concrete, right?
Yeah.
But still, fibula this year. It's crazy. It's absurd.
It was like 4 weeks later, he's back skating. He's a machine.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's a Terminator, but the TA.
That is. Speaking of internet wormholes, this is SportsCenter commercials. I could watch hours and hours of the old This Is SportsCenter commercials. The one with Ovechkin is good. Let's go to some NBA real quick here. Boston Celtics win the series, beat the Knicks. They are down 0-2. They've had 2 colossal collapses in their first 2 games. And I'm predicting them to win the series. And that's not bold enough. They win the series, and Jason Tatum averages 30 from this point forward.
I was hoping you'd go more like they win the series 4-2.
Oh, I'll do that for OKC. OKC, gentleman sweeps the Nuggets. Lose game 1, win the next 4. They already lost game 1 and they won game 2.
Yeah.
They won game 2 149-106. They lost game 1.
I feel like Denver just kind of gave up after the first quarter of that one. Like, you know what, guys? We got one. We're good.
149-106. A night after a game after you lost to that team. I think OKC was sending a message. OKC is good. They are surprisingly good. Gentleman sweep there. We'll go one more hockey. It's not Canes. I'm done with the Canes. Oilers sweep the Golden Knights. I'm definitely caught up in, to me, McDavid, and it's not just that they I don't know, they're similar. To me, he's kind of Mahomesian in that I don't like the Oilers. I don't like the Chiefs. There's nothing that would draw me to those teams. But when they do stuff that's cool, it's just cool. Right when Mahomes is doing the no look, running to his left, throwing it back across the way. Why did Kelsey turn around there? But of course he does, and the ball's on his face. The ball's on his face mask. It's just cool. McDavid, what he did yesterday to Eichel to then set up Draisaitl. It's I have no reason to be excited for this, but it's cool. So maybe I'm caught up in it. Oilers get the sweep. We have time for a football one, do we?
Oh yeah, we have a little bit of time here.
Are there any coming in? Because I gotta always go bell and buzzer.
Let's see.
I have more here. We don't need them.
Yeah, you go ahead and hit the next one here.
Princely Umanmielen.
Yeah.
Leads all rookies in sacks.
Leads all rookies in sacks? Just for the Panthers or the whole league?
Whole league. Would it have been bold enough if I said just Panthers? Did I just completely
I don't know.
Did I just completely oversell it? No.
I wanted to clarify. Because if you said just the Panthers, I would have been but for the whole league, I wanted to clarify. That's what I wanted.
I feel like somebody was like, I'm selling my car. And I'm like, I'll give you $20,000 for it. They're like, deal. You said that really quick. Yeah, I was only looking for $5,000, but you offered 20, so I said deal. I feel like I just way overpaid for a bold prediction.
You didn't. I just wanted to clarify what your statement was.
Here's the deal. With Jadeveon Clowney released, there's, right now the way I look at it, a 4-man rotation for edge rusher with the Panthers. DJ Wanham, Pat Jones. Wanham on the team last year. Pat Jones signed by the free agent out of the Vikings. Then the 2 rookies, Scorton and Princely Umanmielen. I think Princely's his role on that group. And pin your ears back and go get him. He's going to be in there on 3rd and long. He's not going to be asked to be out there on run-stopping downs. I think that'll be Scorton and Wanham mostly, with Jones if they need a breather. I think Princely Umanmielen, and I hope I'm getting better at pronouncing that, by the time he's leading all rookies in sacks next year, I'll be all over it. I just think and by the way, athletically, the dude's a monster. And he's a little bit lighter. Long arms, though. He's got the pass rush moves. I think he's going to be in for a big sack season. And side note, this could be a bold prediction in and of itself.
Okay.
I think the Panthers are actually going to be ahead of games on the scoreboard, before the final drive, which hasn't really happened over the last 2 years. Even the games they won have been a lot of game-winning field goals, a lot of scoring with 1:10 left.
They won 3 games in overtime last year.
Yeah, they don't take a 2-touchdown lead in the second quarter very often. But I think they're going to do more of that this year, which opens up a ton more opportunities for their pass rush to actually get after a quarterback. Right? There's going to be passing downs. There's going to be teams that have to throw their way back into games rather than always play action and always surprising you on 2nd and short that they're actually throwing. I guess the bold prediction would be the Panthers. Gosh, when's the last time
playing with leads
3 times in a season they've led by 10 or more? You probably have to go back to darn near Cam Newton's first stint. Because there's been a game here or there, don't get me wrong. It's they've never done it, but 3 or 4 times in a season, having a double-digit lead, I'm not even saying you got to win the game. I'm not even saying you got to win by double digits. I'm saying just to hold that lead at some point in a game. It's been a while, which is really tough on edge rushers that they just never get that kind of opportunity. All right, that's it for Real Bold Predictions. I spoke too long on that last one. Gosh, that is still... I oversold it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I will not oversell this because I couldn't. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. I'll undersell it. They're awesome, and that's underselling it. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, in whatever order you want. That's just the way I like to say it. They cover it all, but right now, as you're planning for the summer, you're planning for the hot months, it's a great time to start thinking about cooling maintenance. Have Mainer Service Company come out, check out, maybe do a few little tweaks, little freshen ups to your cooling system, your AC, your HVAC, with the anticipation that calling Mainer Service Company for cooling maintenance now can save you some really big headaches and a lot of sweat later, right? If you're going to start working your AC when it gets hot, you want to make sure it's operating on full capacity before you get to those really, really hot months. Mainer Service Company takes care of you. And, I've talked with their owner, Brett, about this a few times. They want to build the relationship. They want to know. You might be surprised. You will, because I was. You'll be surprised how much air conditioners, water heaters, tankless heat, all of this has changed in the last 10, 20, 30 years. The technology has improved. It's just different in a lot of ways. And because of that, there's whenever your system was installed, it's completely unique, right? It's something that is almost specific to your house because they're changing so quickly. So let Mainer Service Company come out, check out your cooling system, and then they'll know, right? They'll have that relationship. So if something breaks, if something goes wrong and you call them up, they already know your house, know your system like a well-worn hoodie, right? They know it like the back of their hand, and they can help you out. So the number to call to begin that relationship with Mainer Service Company is 919-361-0993. That's 888-361-0993. You can also visit them online at MainorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Starting five is coming up next, including some fans need to seriously reevaluate their actions. I'll tell you who. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you where and when during the starting five coming up.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we wanna be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. A small chance for a shower or storm through about 8 o'clock or so. Partly cloudy, cooler, and less humid tonight. 51 the low. Some of those cooler rural areas will be in the 40s. Partly cloudy, cooler, and less humid for your Saturday, 74.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 119 points at the closing bell to 41,249. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday to you all. It is also 5 o'clock on a Friday. Cheers for those of you that are out there having a good time. Thank you for starting your weekend with us, and we'll start the 5 o'clock hour with the starting five, and we'll start the starting five with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
Canes Caps last night, game 2. Capitals win 3-1, empty netter. So we'll call it 2-1 for all intents and purposes. Jordan Stahl, the captain, he highlighted that the Canes did, and I agree with this kind of timeline of it, started the game well, second period got away from them a little bit. Here's Stahl.
Yeah, I thought our first was good, and second period was just no good. Even the first half of our third was not great, and we were playing our end a little bit too much. Just kind of turning over one too many pucks and not really kind of getting to the neutral zone and getting on and all the stuff we do. So took a penalty, and obviously PK would love to have the kill, but that's the difference. But obviously our 5-on-5 game wasn't great, and it kind of trended towards them getting that extra goal.
That was Jordan Stahl's kind of timeline of the game. For more details, let's turn to our very own Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold, all about game 2.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 20-minute sessions that produced no goals, and maybe that's why it's just 1-1 as we come back to Raleigh for game number 3. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. The Hurricanes won game 1 of their series with Washington when Logan Stankoven got them even in the third period, middle of the third, and then Jacob Slavin won it in overtime. But we should go back to the first period of game 1 to figure out why Carolina didn't have a goal. And then history repeated itself in game 2. Because again, while not quite as extreme, Carolina clearly the better team in the first period and had a bunch of scoring chances and just couldn't break through.
Now a little chance put out in front there as Roslovic got the stick to it. Now in front, Roslovic with another chance doesn't get through. Top of the crease, and Washington will clear Van Riemsdyk.
Roslovic noticeably dangerous in the period. Hall has been very good.
Now out in front for Stahl, and a great block by Wilson. That is an outstanding defensive play as Stahl was lining up the shot.
Jack Roslovic had a couple of chances in the first. Jordan Stahl had 2 or 3. There was also one situation where Seth Jarvis tried to pass the puck to Stahl, but he was too close to him and had too much on the pass, and it sort of got away from him. Jarvis ended up with a scoring chance of his own right there, but he was actually too close to Logan Thompson to really do anything with it. But Carolina's got a lot of puck possession, a lot of shot attempts, and not a lot of grade A scoring chances. And when you get first periods like that, you gotta cash in. That worries me coming back to Raleigh. Hopefully, they won't put themselves behind it because, honestly, Washington's first goal was unlucky on the part of Carolina. A bad bounce ends up in a breakaway, and then it's 1-0. And you can't chase the game because even when Shane Gostisbehere gets you back within 1...
Aho from the left point now to the center. Chance here, deflects out. Gostisbehere scores! A power play goal! The Canes needed it, and Tripp drew it up, and Carolina has gotten on the board, and it's a 2-1 game. Shane Gostisbehere, his first of this series, second of the postseason. It's a 2-1 game.
You're still just within 1. Carolina ends up losing 3-1 in game 2. Got to get ahead of the game when you have the opportunities. First periods, as great as they've been, have cost Carolina so far. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health. Sound the alarm for a first period goal. Can we get a first period goal, please? I want a first period goal.
That's 2 minutes of gold with Adam Gold. I want a first period goal for the Canes as well. Maybe if we all think it really hard, it'll happen. Do you believe in that kind of stuff, Dennis?
Yes.
We can all put energy into the world. So right now, every Canes fan out there that's listening, on 3, just think and wish and hope for a first period goal for the Canes in game 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good work, everybody.
Did it. Nailed it.
Good work. You do realize if they score like 3 first-period goals, we're going to have to do that for every Canes game forever and ever. We could have just signed ourselves up for something there. That's all number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Yeah, that's an appropriate record scratch. Let's give the details here first, but I'm going to give you an example of the sports fans to never be. Bubba Cunningham is the athletic director at UNC. Okay? Starting at the beginning here. When Bubba Cunningham was a small boy, no, I'm kidding. We're not starting all the way at the beginning. Bubba Cunningham's the athletic director at Carolina. He is also, or was, the chair of the NCAA men's basketball tournament selection committee. If you recall, there was a bubble that contained both West Virginia, UNC, a few other teams for who was going to make it into the NCAA tournament as the final at-large teams. UNC made it in, and many found that very, very suspicious because Bubba Cunningham was amongst those that led the charge of the selection committee, even though there were explanations that when you discuss UNC, he had to leave the room and all of these other things. Shout out to Brian Murphy, WRAL investigative reporter, friend of the show. He put in a Freedom of Information Act request for the emails that came into Bubba Cunningham in the hours that followed that decision being made public, that UNC made it into the tournament and West Virginia, amongst others, did not. Goodness. Multiple fans, I'm going to try to say this in a way that will get across the absolute insanity of these emails and the just inappropriate nature of them, but without, saying too much crazy stuff on radio. Multiple fans sent emails threatening to take the life of UNC athletic director Bubba Cunningham or wishing death upon him after the NCAA tournament field was announced. That is almost a direct quote from the story by Brian Murphy. I will read one of the many options of examples from these emails. Again, WRALSportsFan.com. You can read the whole article. One gruesome messenger wrote, in part, in his early morning email, I genuinely, redacted expletive, hope your entire family gets cancer and your grandkids become drug addicts and you have to watch them wither away to nothing. Don't now this is me talking, no longer reading. Don't be that fan. You can be mad, and matter of fact, I think West Virginia had a legitimate case to be mad that they didn't make the NCAA tournament, right? You can be mad, you can be upset, you can be hurt for the players who dreamed about playing in the NCAA. You can do all of that and not make a complete jack bleep of yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to be a jackass.
You talking about cancer? I don't care if you're hiding behind an email that is like a burner email and right your screen name is whatever with a bunch of numbers at the end at blankblank.com. Like, people are going to read that. When you send stuff, people read it. I think there was a really interesting question by Brian Murphy in the article, and I'm going to read it to you. Obviously outlining everything that Bubba Cunningham dealt with, and then given the treatment of NC State's Boo Corrigan received after the college football playoff as the chair a couple years ago, Murphy wonders why anyone would want these jobs. Now, obviously, there's probably money involved, I would assume, or some kind of opportunity, responsibility, some kind of power, something. There it has to be a reason, but I don't know if any of it's going to be worth death threats. Absolutely ridiculous. And like, West Virginia fans should be trying to root out the West Virginia fans that are doing that kind of stuff, because it negates, it nullifies the good fans' points, right? Because let's be real, and I've said this, a sitting AD for a team that's trying to make the tournament should not be the chair of the committee that gets to decide who makes the tournament. That's a legit point that West Virginia should be making. The way they made it, now you're kind of all getting written off as wackos. don't do it. Don't press send. Type it up in your notes app. Get it out, right? Release it, journal it, handwrite it into a composition notebook, right? Get all your emotions out, and then tear it out, rip it up, throw it away. Don't send. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
All the way around to Perry. Skates to stick. Here's McDavid. Working past Eichel. McDavid. Oh, Draisaitl. Scores! McDavid and Draisaitl combine for the game winner.
Oilers beat the Knights 5-4 yesterday. Edmonton leads the series 2-0. There are NHL Stanley Cup playoff games going on other than the Canes, although we definitely zero in our tunnel vision when the Canes are on. The game winner that you just heard, pretty good play by McDavid. Jack Eichel, who was, kind of Iverson crossed over by McDavid, lost his balance, kind of highlight play against him. Eichel's a really good player.
Phenomenal player.
And McDavid, he made him look like maybe not a really great player. Which just goes to show you how good McDavid is. And I'm not here just to blow smoke onto some player that doesn't play for the hometown team. But I am here to say, there's some appreciating of greatness that I am a big fan of. When you see a potential all-time great do something that makes them that, you don't want to be so caught up that you can't appreciate it. You don't want to be so caught up in that you can't look at it and go, well, there's a chance if my grandkids play hockey that they're going to be saying, what was it like to watch Connor McDavid? And I don't want to say, well, I didn't because he wasn't on the Canes. I want to be able to go, there was a postseason game. You don't remember Jack Eichel, but Jack Eichel was this really good player, and McDavid crossed him over and found Draisaitl on the side, and you're going to want to remember that. So I'm just giving a few seconds here to address that McDavid's one of those dudes.
Also, just that game in general, it's a phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the second round so far of the Stanley Cup playoffs, every single one of these games has been tight.
Do you know what's funny about that?
Closely contested, evenly played. They've all been fantastic.
Do you know what's funny about that is it was a really good first round. And I heard a whole bunch of people going after that first round, I don't know what the second round could do to live up to. Can the second round, if it's just as good as the first round, the second round is going to be awesome. I feel like the second round went, all right, hold my beer. Oh, you thought that was good? Hold on. Hold my beer, right? Took a nice drag and then went out there. And, there's overtime games. There's, greats making great plays. You hate to say it, but there's the Mikko of it all. He's putting together a run. It's pretty fun. It's pretty good postseason. I'll put it that way. Pretty good postseason. That's all number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Where to begin? Pablo Torre, formerly of ESPN, currently of Meadowlark Media, host of the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast, released a podcast this morning. Each episode for Pablo Torre Finds Out, for those of you that haven't listened, he picks a topic and it's a deep dive, right? It's investigative reporting all the way, he tries to hit it from every different angle, a different topic. The topic for the one he released today, the Bill Belichick Jordon Hudson relationship. He talked to, he said, 11 sources, and not including, he even went and found the author of the psychology book that Bill Belichick signed that Jordon Hudson was studying in school when they first met on the plane back in 2021, and asked the author, do you get normal kind of aphrodisiac responses to your psychology book? And he had to say, no, this is kind of the first one. I feel like it became the spark of a relationship. The details in the podcast are too numerous. It's almost an hour long, too numerous to go on here in the starting 5, but I'll give you some of the highlights right after you hear some of the highlights from Pablo Torre himself. Here's a clip from Pablo Torre Finds Out.
2 sources at the University of North Carolina tell me that there has been a decision, was made last week, by the higher-ups inside the athletic department that had hired Bill Belichick to be the highest-paid public employee, not just coach, in the state of North Carolina at $10 million a year. And that decision was that Jordon Hudson is no longer allowed in the football building.
Okay.
She is not allowed on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, don't think you'll be hearing much from Jordon moving forward. The second update is that Bill Belichick's family is extraordinarily concerned about what has transpired. One Belichick family source told me, quote, there is deep worry for how detrimental Jordon can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades. End quote. In fact, the family has been digging into Jordon Hudson as well.
Hoo boy. Now, to give, in the interest of like I said, covering the topic from all angles, UNC did put out a statement. I will read that for you. This is, I would say, not like officially directly in response to Pablo Torre's reporting, but it is 100% the spiritual sequel. UNC statement reads as follows. While Jordon Hudson is not an employee at the university or Carolina Athletics, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordon will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities for Carolina football and the university. End of statement. In the interest of covering this from all sides, Pablo Torre responded, P.S. UNC can now choose to describe or change its position on Jordon Hudson's involvement however it wishes. Following the publication of our episode, we requested comment and filed dozens of Freedom of Information requests that were not satisfied, and we stand by the specific reporting in our episode, which came from the highest levels of the football program. Do you know what's really tough? First of all, I don't believe that Pablo Torre was lying, okay? I believe he is, and has been for a long time, a pretty well-respected journalist.
Yeah, he's not going to float that stuff out there unless he's
So I believe he has
verification.
He has a source that has told him the things that he says. He refers multiple times to the highest levels of the football program, or he also calls them in other phrases, the higher-ups at UNC football. I don't know what that means. Because I believe the highest up at UNC football is Belichick, right? He's the number one. Could it be an athletic director? I'm not sure Bill Belichick answers to Bubba Cunningham as much as the president or the chancellor. Like, I don't know the structure behind the scenes. So higher ups, that would be my question for Pablo. But I know he wouldn't tell me because he don't reveal sources, and because he's a journalist. Off the record. Listen, we all have our opinions. I think it gets more serious when you start reporting what Pablo did with the family of Bill Belichick being concerned, and they're looking into Jordon. And obviously, to us, it's a football coach's girlfriend. To them, it's somebody that is in a serious relationship with a family member. And that's a different concern. So I think it gets more serious when that gets involved. It's a distraction, at the very least, right? It's something that people are going to talk about.
It's become everything Bill Belichick preached against.
Yeah, 100%. Like, for example, and I know we have to move on, but I'll give you this real quickly. I remember the story from Charlie Weiss. Charlie Weiss was an offensive coordinator for Bill Belichick with the Patriots. And Charlie he went from being the offensive coordinator of the Patriots to being the head coach at Notre Dame. And Charlie Weiss told the story of when he hired me to be the offensive coordinator, he asked me to write down the jobs that I would be interested in that would make me leave as offensive coordinator of the Patriots. And he wrote down 3 or 5 jobs. And one of them was Notre Dame head coach. And the whole reason was, so if other openings happened, Belichick could go, nope, not a distraction. Charlie's not interested. Like there was no, like, you're going to go interview and it's like, that's not what you're about. Right. So there's, another NFL head coaching job, the head coach at Notre Dame, or, I don't know, president of EA Sports. I don't know what the answers were. But if it wasn't that, he asked you not to make it a distraction. He was getting ahead of eliminating distractions that his coordinator would face if the coordinator had a bunch of success over the next 2 or 3 years. Years in advance, he was getting ahead of eliminating those distractions. Just so, people wouldn't be asking about it. people are going to be asking about his relationship with Jordon Hudson. His players, when they go home, visit mom, visit dad, they see their high school friends, they're not saying, like, hey, how's spring ball? They're saying, have you met Jordon Hudson? What's up with Coach and Jordon Hudson?
Yeah, what's up with your coach?
What's going on? Is it real? Is she around? Does she call plays? Does she hold a tackling dummy? Like, how involved is she? That's number 2. Let's hit number 1. Canes Caps.
From the left point now to the center. Chance here to flex out. Gostisbehere scores! A power play goal! The Canes needed it.
Canes Caps game 3 tomorrow. Canes have to defend home ice. Canes have to defend home ice, which means Caniacs have to get out there at the Lenovo Center and get a little crazy. Like we're sitting here, and if you listen to the beginning of the show, celebrating might not be the right word, but I definitely think a 1-1 split through 2 games is advantage Canes. Right? You've wrestled home ice away. You don't have to win on the road again to win this series, despite being the lower seeded team coming into the tournament, coming into the playoff bracket. That is a very important piece of kind of bracket knowledge. You give it right back if you lose one of these 2 games at home at the Lenovo Center. So you could argue the pressure just flipped. Right? People say the series doesn't start till you win on the road. So the Canes started the series early, right? They started it in game 1. That's wildly important, but the pressure now flips, right? The Caps had to win game 2. Now the pressure to keep home ice yours is on the Canes to win. And I think that's, just a little bit different. Rod Brindamore spoke to the media today, obviously head coach. He was asked where he thinks his team can get better as a team heading into game 3.
Well, it's just those mistakes where they're going to force you to make mistakes. That's hockey, and the game is about mistakes. But it's the ones where you're really not forced into a mistake, and we just turn over a puck where there's no reason to or whatever. That's just putting the stress on you now, and that's those. We can eliminate those shifts. I think we're going to be better off. Obviously, you want to get more action around the net in the interior. That's the goal. So we can maybe do that a little better. Otherwise, I've liked our game.
Dennis, I have a question for you, real quick here, but it's in the realm of something that I think we both agree on. We talk a lot about if somebody is struggling, it's almost better for our peace of mind. Not struggling, but if somebody isn't producing as they usually are, it's better for our peace of mind if it's actually one of your better players.
Yes.
Because we're like, oh, well, that guy's he's gonna get it, right? He'll figure it out, right? If this is the 96 Bulls, I'm way more comfortable if Michael Jordan has an off game than I am if like the rest of the starting lineup has an off game, because I'm going, oh, well, Michael's not gonna have 2, right? Michael will be fine. The lack of Canes scoring, right? Because they have 2 goals in regulation in 2 games combined. Are you putting it on like, oh, well, it's Aho and Jarvis. They're getting good looks. They're not finishing, but they're good, right? I know they're not Michael Jordan. Don't get me wrong. Nobody is. But are like, hey, I'm more comfortable with that? Or is it like, oh, no, there are other guys that we are more worried about that need to get going? Because we've seen, like, Ghost didn't have a great game.
No, he didn't.
Jackson Blake, you just don't think about for, like, a period at a time. Do you need the improvement to come from the studs or the other guys?
I think it's the top guys got to be your top guys. I mean, Svechnikov did not have a great game yesterday either. I mean, that whole top line actually was not very good at all, especially when you look at some of the more advanced numbers. But Svech was not great yesterday. He wasn't creating scoring opportunities. Neither was Aho, Blake. I think those guys just essentially just fed off each other, but in a negative way, if that makes sense. Because when one wasn't going, the other wasn't going, which led to the other one not going. So I think that those guys definitely have to turn things around, and it's gonna help Carolina a ton when you have the home ice in second change and you can control the matchup, because now you can keep Aho away from whether it's McMichael and Wilson and whomever it might be, Pierre-Luc Dubois.
I think it's definitely that.
That's advantage Carolina. That's advantage Carolina. And I think that's a big thing that they keep in mind as well. And also, you can help prevent Gostisbehere from being out there against the top lines and things along those lines. So it's going to help Carolina. I'm not worried about it. I really am not. Obviously, to me, they just, as a collective, they got to find a way to get a goal in the first period. That's just what they need. Their first periods have been too good for them to just get zero.
Svech continues to be a unsolvable riddle for me.
He's an enigma.
Because I think he's played really well this postseason, maybe excluding yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I think I consider him, when I say like the top guys, I consider him in that group of top guys with the Canes. Except when he has an off day, I don't have the like, well, if Aho has an off day, I go, oh, he'll be fine. He's not going to put a whole bunch of those in a row. When Svech has an off day, part of me does go like, uh-oh. He's like, I don't know. He's dry water. It's like he's an oxymoron. He's a top guy who sometimes I can't help but feel like he's one of the others, and it's very, very difficult for me to wrap my head around. It's easier when it's just like the first round and he just is playing well and he's firing and he's being aggressive and he's leading the team in hits, and I get to move on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do need to grab numbers game contestants for the last time since it's Friday. You can grab a $25 Hardee's gift card by winning the numbers game. But before we solicit those contestants, here's Dennis Cox with some info for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. I'm one thing I'm very much looking forward to this weekend, obviously outside of all the sports and everything that we're going to enjoy. Weather's going to be great tomorrow. I'm hopping on the motorcycle. I'm riding around for a few hours. I am looking forward to just get out on the bike, enjoying. It's a great way to kind of clear your head. And for me, if I know that if I am possibly in a motorcycle accident, at least for me, there's comfort knowing that I can contact an attorney or contact Law Tigers and know that they have my back. Because Law Tigers, they're part of that motorcycle riding community as well. And that's what makes Law Tigers such a special connection if you are injured in a motorcycle accident. Because, again, they're part of that family. They understand what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. And that's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free. And Law Tigers, they don't get a dime until your case actually settles. So that's why if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, contact the people that actually have your best interest at heart. Contact Law Tigers, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Again, Law Tigers, they're riders too. They're part of that community. They have your back. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call. You can also visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan needs some numbers game contestants. We have a $25 Hardee's gift card that will go to whoever can win the numbers game. We have 2 spots. We need 2 contestants. So call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. 2 contestants for the numbers game. It's coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, It's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I am in studio with my friend Jeff Hoffman from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. So I have a front door. If it never opened, I wouldn't know because I haven't used it. But front doors, that's the start of your house. You have a lot of options when it comes to doors.
Absolutely. The front door is the focal point of the house. Give us an opportunity to come out. We'll sit down with an iPad, actually develop the door for you. A couple different door styles or types to choose from, but then there's multiple styles that you can apply to that actual door. We can put it on the iPad to where it puts the image on the house, so you can sit there and as you're changing it, you're going to see what it looks like on the house. From the paint, the hardware, the glass packages, just anything that you need. And of course, it's going to be installed by certified Provia installers.
Well, again, does it have to open? Because I don't know that I've ever walked through it.
Yes, Adam, you'll have company. You'll need it to open.
All right, you do back doors, you do storm doors, all sorts of doors as well.
Absolutely. Sliding doors, French doors, patio doors, whatever you need, we can get it taken care of.
800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. All week, we've been giving away $25 gift cards to Hardee's, and today is no different. So, either, what do we have here? We have DJ, Dean in Rocky Mount, there we go, or BJ in Fuquay Arena.
Yep.
One of them will be winning the numbers game, and they will get the Hardee's gift card. As always, I will ask the same question to both contestants. Dennis will hear the answers, pick his favorite, and that person will get to go first. Dean in Rocky Mount, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Dean, the question for today is, since it's a Friday, what are you most looking forward to about the weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
Well, to guys' favorite term, I'm looking forward to the Canes taking a dominant 2-1 series lead at a pivotal Game 3 to stave off home ice advantage going back to the Washington Capitals.
You're so close to hitting all of our cliches. Not dominant, it's a commanding 2-1 lead.
Commanding.
But okay, you're looking forward to the Canes game tomorrow being a win. We'll go to BJ in Fuquay Arena. BJ, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right, the same question to you. What are you most looking forward to about the weekend? But because we're a sports show, let's keep it sports related.
All right, yeah, I'm on the way to my in-laws to drop my kids off for the weekend, and then I'm going to Campbell University to check out their weekend series versus Elon. So just some chill time, enjoying some baseball with no kids.
All right, that's sounds like you got yourself a heck of a weekend.
I mean, yeah, it's an in-state matchup too. Yeah. Elon Campbell.
That is the Camels versus the Phoenixes. My brother went to Elon.
Yeah,
I should know that quicker. And then roll humps from Campbell. Dennis, what is it? This is a tough one.
This is in-state matchup because it seems to be the theme this weekend when it comes to baseball because we have NC State UNC taking place. Which, by the way, that game will have Game 2 of that series coming up here in like 23 minutes here on the Fan. Canes Game 3 tomorrow.
By the way, kidsless baseball.
Yeah, kidless. That thing, like going by yourself to sit back and enjoy it.
With kids, baseball is cool. It is a like an awesome deal. Without kids, it's just different, but a different kind of awesome.
This is tough. This is tough. I'm gonna go with BJ on this one.
All right,
I'm gonna go with BJ on this one.
Wow.
Dropping the kids off at the in-laws, just enjoy the weekend, relax, beautiful weather.
Dean was not only going Canes, he used like in-show inside jokes.
This was not easy.
Well played by both of you. BJ, you get to go first. Dean, just go ahead and stay on the line. You will have your chance. BJ, you ready to pick a category?
Let's go.
All right, the categories are NFL players from the 2023 draft class, NFL players from the 2020 draft class, NBA players that were all Kevin Durant's teammates at one point or another, or NHL Hurricanes only?
I'm going to go with the NFL 2020 draft class.
Which one was that?
The 2020.
Okay, perfect. 2020 draft class. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir, I don't.
All right, your time will get started when you hear the horn. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals.
8.
Incorrect. Chase Young, Washington Commanders.
99.
Correct. CeeDee Lamb, Dallas Cowboys.
Pass.
T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals.
Number 5.
Correct. Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears.
86.
Incorrect. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals.
Number 9.
Correct. CeeDee Lamb, Dallas Cowboys.
88.
Correct. Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears.
Pass. 85.
We're giving it to him.
Got it in before the buzzer.
How many did that end up being? Was that?
That was all 5.
That was all 5.
That was all 5.
Let's go.
First of all, you worked hard for it, so good on you. I don't even think I realized you got all 5. So that's 4 days in a row with a perfect score.
That's right.
Now,
And I had to redeem myself from yesterday, man.
All right, so I like it. Call him back in, getting another shot at it. What I will say though is how much. I mean, was that 29.8 something like that? You used the entire clock. So if Dean's able to put together a perfect score, it'll be pretty. We'd have to go to the tapes if you're going to still be the winner. You put the pressure on him, but stay on the line. We don't know if it will hold up.
We'll check the tape here real fast.
85.
Definitely got it in.
Got it in?
Well played. Dean and Rocky Mount, are you there? You're up next.
I'm here.
All right, this is going to be a tough one. You need to get all 5 to win. But we've seen it done. We've had double 5s before. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah, give me Canes and Whalers.
Canes and Whalers. All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. I will say the team in this category, just to keep it fair with the other contestant in another category, even though we know it's Canes and Whalers. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need all 5 for the win. Any last-second questions?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Logan Stankoven, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Brent Burns, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Martin Jelena, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Kevin Weeks, Carolina Hurricanes.
30-something?
Incorrect.
30.
Martin Helena, Carolina Hurricanes.
Say again.
Martin Jelena, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Stephen Rice, Carolina Hurricanes.
92.
Incorrect. Kevin Weeks, Carolina Hurricanes.
1.
I like that you're just throwing darts there. You weren't wasting your turn. We were looking for Jelena, we were looking for 23. For Weeks, we were looking for 80. Although a goalie wearing number 1 would be kind of swagged out. And then Stephen Rice, number 12, is what we were looking for. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but Dean, hopefully you had some fun.
I did. You got me with all the guys that played here before I was alive.
All right. Relax. We had such a good moment. You were using our inside jokes and everything when you started, and then you just turned around and said, "You guys are old."
Hey, Artur Serbe wore number 1 for the Canes. Is a net mind.
That's swagged out. I like that. You got to be good too, so it all makes sense.
And he was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's all adding up. That means BJ's the winner. BJ, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
$25 Hardee's gift card coming your way. Stay on the line. Dennis will make sure you get your prize.
All right, sounds good.
There you go.
That's how you redeem yourself. You lose to someone yesterday after they
To a
got
perfect,
5.
yep.
Then you come back and go perfect yourself?
That was a hard-earned 5. I didn't even notice it was a 5.
Like truly down to the buzzer.
He started off missing Joe Burrow. Ended with a perfect score. That's an upset right there. That is what happened in the first inning. Well, I had 3 outs. They were all picked off. I was all just bad base running. What'd you do? I won 11-0. What? How? Tripped at the starting line, won by 10 meters. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the numbers game. That is the numbers game. Tune back in next week right about that time for more numbers game, and you'll have to tune in to find out what the prize is. Probably something different. We have to make our picks before the weekend. Should have a lot to pick from. So stick around. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of a Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have 2 words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Creighton Blackwell here once again from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we are at East Chapel Hill High School, and we're here to celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Isabel Woke.
I've been volunteering a lot with teaching kids how to swim, and I just really love getting back to this sport that has given me so much. And it's really just inspires me and motivates me to see other people getting in the water and really learning to enjoy it.
I think Isabel has an automatic natural ability to be a leader, and it's really actually impressive. And I think it's great 'cause she has a lot of experience, and she's very humble and has a great personality and a great person to be around.
She is articulate, she is smart, she is empathetic, she is everything that you would hope most teenagers are.
So every once in a while you get lucky enough to meet a student who just operates in a different plane than the rest of us. And those students are the ones that make you wonder, what are they going to do later on in life? And she's one of those.
I'm so thankful for my coaches and my teammates and my parents who have just made this possible.
Congratulations, Isabel.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This hour of The Drive brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, particularly the ones that listen to the show. but all moms, right, out there doing the mom thing. Sunday, Mother's Day. Just want to give you a shout out. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my mom and to my wife, the mother of my kids. Dennis, you want to give any Mother's Day shout outs?
Shout out to my mom.
There you go.
My mom, Annette. She's amazing. She's awesome. One thing I'd say, you probably know this as like playing sports and everything growing up. My mom was there, like, driving me to practice, picking me up from practice. She was always at every game. Even when I was in college, she tried to make every single game that she could. Same with my dad. I mean, I was blessed. Definitely blessed to have that for sure.
I mean, you hear that story so much with athletes. I've obviously played a whole bunch of sports growing up. It has continued into this career. My mom knows so much about the Carolina Hurricanes, and she is not a hockey fan, but she tunes into this show and listens to us all the time. It just, supportive parents, right? It's appreciated. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there doing the supportive parent thing, specifically the moms. With that being said, just because it's Mother's Day weekend doesn't mean we don't have picks to make. We have to make our picks. Let's go ahead and line them up. Dennis, what are we picking today?
All right, let's go ahead and start with the Stanley Cup playoffs. We have a Game 3 tonight down in Florida. The Panthers are taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs actually have a 2-0 series lead. Dare I say Toronto winning in the postseason in the second round, something that they, don't do?
It has been... I don't want to say they don't do it. They just don't do it in the last 60 years.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
Longer.
I'm bad at math. You know that. So I'm sorry. What are we picking? Are we picking series or are we picking the game?
Just the game tonight.
Okay. I mean, I am a huge proponent of this saying. The best indicator of the best indicator of future results are past results. If a team just beats you twice, I'm much more inclined to pick the team that's beat you twice to beat you again. Although, I guess if you zoom out, the best indicator of future results is past results.
Which means Toronto's going to stink.
Which would mean, if you they're about to fall apart. I don't know. I'm choosing to look at it as
it's in Florida.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll give you.
And by the way, Florida is they're a proud franchise. They've got some determined guys on. We've seen that roster bounce back from some things. So you're right. I'm going Florida.
Florida on the money line is a -240.
I would take some disrespect from that if I were the Toronto Maple Leafs. You tell me we're up 2-0 and we're that much of an underdog, but hey, there's a reason. So, maybe you should take it a little frustratingly.
Game 2 tonight, the Winnipeg Jets taking on Mikko Rantanen because he's the only one that scores for the Dallas Stars. Dallas is actually a +120 on the money line. They're an underdog on the money lines. Game 2 of that series tonight. Again, it's in Winnipeg.
I want to just kind of jump in quickly because this is not my take, but it does happen in sports. Somebody else said it on Twitter, and I saw it. Because it's funny you bring up it's Mikko Rantanen, the only one scoring. The tweet basically said, if you're not Mikko Rantanen and you're shooting the puck, rather than passing it to Mikko Rantanen right now,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Right? Everything the guy touches turns to goals. Every once in a while, there are players that just catch fire, and it's like, he's the only one scoring. It's like, well, yeah, no one else is trying to score. They're trying to set him up to score because the goal's as big as a soccer goal to him right now. And I don't enjoy saying that. I hope that he struggles because of the way he treated Carolina. But facts are facts. He's playing well. So what are we doing? Just this game? Yeah?
Yeah, just this game.
Yeah, I'd probably think Dallas here. Dallas is betting favorite to win the cup right now. I just think they're doing good things. So maybe this is an emotional hedge where it's like that way if Dallas wins and Mikko plays well, I get to go, well, at least I was right, rather than being mad that I was wrong and mad that they won. So yeah, I'll take Dallas.
Okay, let's go ahead and shift over to the NBA. Game 3 tonight between the Pacers and the Cavs. This series actually shifts over to Indy with a 2-0 series lead. Cleveland in this game, 3.5-point favorites, actually. The Cavaliers on the road.
Do we know if Garland is playing for the Cavs?
I do not know.
Let me see. They're all there at shooting. He was shooting around.
He's listed as a game-time decision. Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter.
Sharanya Shams says he is expected to play.
Okay.
That's big. They missed him a ton in Game 1 and Game 2. Probably
why they're favored.
I'll take Cleveland. With the only caveat I would throw there is I'm not betting on this until somebody tells me not only is Garland playing, but he's at least 80%. Because you see this in the playoffs sometimes where a guy's like, listen, if we lose this one, I'm going to have all offseason to rehab whatever I'm hurt, so I might as well give it a go because we need this. If I get an indication that he's like, 60% or something, then I think Indy can pull it off. But if he's out there and he actually had enough time to get back, then I think Cleveland wins.
At Cleveland minus 195 on the money line.
And usually the sports books know before us if somebody's injury status has changed.
Let's go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Game 3 of their series. They're on the road. That series against the Denver Nuggets is actually moving to the Mile High City. Oklahoma City on the road, 4.5-point favorites tonight on the money line, a minus 230.
OKC, they're good.
Yeah.
Do you know what that actually hurts them? They make really, really, really annoying commercials.
Okay.
Last year they had Chet and SGA, Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander singing. Remember that one? This year, did you know they were all going to wear the blue suit? And they play it 900 times. And I think that just makes the public not like them. So people aren't talking about how good they are. Chet Holmgren, I watched their, whatever it was, game 2. He's like 7'2", and he's Euro stepping and doing guard moves to the bucket. If Wemby didn't exist, Victor Wembanyama, we'd be talking about how much of a unicorn Holmgren is. So yeah, I think OKC wins. They might gentlemen sweep the Nuggets where they lost game 1 and then they win 4 straight.
All right, final one here tomorrow night at the Lenovo Center. Saturday night, 6 o'clock. Canes.
Right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Caps. Carolina, the Hurricanes, minus 190 on the money line. They are favored to win this one. The over-under set at 5.5 goals total.
I don't always like using their due when a team doesn't score for a couple games. Because sometimes I'm like, if they're not scoring, they might just not be playing hockey that deserves to score. I do think the Canes are playing hockey that deserves to score. They just haven't been. Thus, they're due. At some point, they're going to have a 3-goal period. Like, it's going to happen. I hope it happens in game 3. So I'll take the Canes. I'm gonna go against, this could be a bold prediction. I'm going against conventional wisdom. 5-2. 5-2. I think it's really 4-2, but the empty netter makes it 5-2.
Maybe it's 2 empty netters.
Ooh, now we're talking. Svech and Jarvis get one.
There you go. Got to make up for it.
There you go. Dennis, give us yours. Score prediction.
Score prediction tomorrow, I think it's going to be... I think Carolina does get the offense going a little bit early tomorrow. Again, I think playing at home ice is going to be such an advantage for them. But I still don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game overall. I think it's just going to be a 3-2.
I mean, that's probably the smart money, but I'm going bold. Scared money don't make no money, Dennis. I need 5 goals on Saturday at the Lenovo Center for the Canes. We'll see if it happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. We have baseball up next. UNC hosting NC State. In-state rivalry happening on the baseball diamond. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Peace.
The Adam Gold Show.
I am not a watcher of Entertainment Tonight or Bravo Network. I don't care about these things. I don't care about the relationship between Bill Belichick and Jordon Hudson unless it impacts football. Nobody has made the connection for me that this will impact football. But I will say this, the university can't separate itself from the relationship because Belichick is UNC football.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from